Over the past 2 decades, a new force has emerged at the intersection of finance and development: impact investing. It promises something ambitious: to generate profit while solving the world's most pressing social and environmental challenges. But beneath the promise lies a deeper question: is impact investing truly transforming lives or reshaping power in global finance? This is SOUQ News Special Report. Impact investing is part of a broader shift in global finance, one that includes ethical, sustainable, and responsible investing. Since around 2007, it has been positioned as a breakthrough model, one that seeks to combine financial returns with a measurable social and environmental impact. Backed by institutions like the Rockefeller Foundation and high-net-worth investors, the idea is simple: invest in projects that not only generate profit, but also solve real-world problems. But impact investing is not one uniform model. It evolves differently across regions. In some countries, it builds on existing systems. In France, it resembles solidarity finance. In Switzerland, it overlaps microfinance. In the United Kingdom, it led to innovations like social impact bonds, where private investors fund public services and are repaid only if results are achieved. Yet, not all experiments succeed. Initially, weak institutional support slowed adoption. Across regions, success often depends on alliances between governments, investors, and development organizations. Despite its promise, impact investing faces a critical challenge: measurement. What exactly counts as impact? The answer is often flexible, sometimes too flexible. Analysts warn that the concept's vagueness allows investors to shape narratives highlighting success while downplaying shortcomings. In some cases, this flexibility shifts power towards investors, leaving entrepreneurs and beneficiaries accountable to financial expectations rather than social realities. Evidence from emerging markets, including Nigeria, suggests that entrepreneurs may lose independence as investor priorities take center stage. For Africa, impact investing presents both opportunity and risk. On one hand, it unlocks capital for critical sectors: healthcare, agriculture, education, and clean energy. On the other hand, it raises questions about control. Who defines impact? Who benefits most? And whose priorities shape development? As states and development institutions increasingly rely on private capital, there may also be ceding influence, allowing financial market to play a central role in shaping public good. At its core, impact investing is a hybrid model, blending public purpose with private profit. But this hybrid raises critical questions. Can markets truly deliver social justice? Does measuring impact improve outcomes or simply repackage them? And is this a solution or a restructuring of global power? Impact investing represents one of the most ambitious ideas in modern finance: the belief that capital can do good and do well. But as this model expands across Africa and beyond, the challenge remains: ensuring that impact is not just promised, but truly delivered.
Skincare from the inside out. Because beautiful skin isn't just about what you put on, it's about how you care for your whole body. Hello, my name is Emmanuel Polise, and this is SOUQ Health Tips. Let's talk about something that is seen every day in the clinic. People investing in expensive skincare products but overlooking one major factor: internal health. The truth is, your skin reflects what's going on inside your body. As a medical personnel, I can tell you that achieving clear, radiant skin starts far beneath the surface. Number one, nutrition matters more than you think. Your skin is your largest organ and like every organ, it needs the right nutrients to thrive. Eat foods rich in antioxidants like berries, spinach, and green tea to help fight free radical damage. Include omega-3 fatty acids from fish and walnuts to reduce inflammation and keep your skin barrier strong. Limit refined sugars and processed foods, which can trigger acne and accelerate aging through a process called glycation. 2. Hydration is skin deep. When your body is dehydrated, your skin looks dull, dry, and tired. Drink at least 2 to 3 liters of water daily and eat hydrating foods like cucumbers, oranges, and watermelon. Pro tips: if your lips are constantly dry or your inner under eyes are creased, it may be a hydration issue, not just a skincare one. 3. Prioritize quality sleep. While you sleep, your skin goes into repair mode, producing collagen, regenerating cells, and balancing oil levels. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of uninterrupted sleep. Poor sleep increases cortisol level, which can lead to breakouts, sensitivity, and early aging. 4. Watch your stress levels. High stress equals to high cortisol. Cortisol triggers oil production, inflammation, and skin flare-ups like acne, eczema, and psoriasis. Practice daily stress relief breathing exercises. Short walks, journaling, or digital detoxes can all help calm both mind and skin. 5. Support your gut health because the gut-skin connection is real. An unhealthy gut can lead to inflammation that shows up on your skin as acne or dullness. Add probiotics. You get your probiotics from your yogurt or supplements, and prebiotics from garlic, onions, and oats to nourish your microbiome. Bonus: skincare products still matter, but they work best on a healthy foundation. Yes, your cleansers, moisturizers, and SPF are important, but they can't fix what poor diet, dehydration, or stress are damaging from the inside. In summary, if you want healthy, glowing skin, treat it like a system, not just a surface. Nourish your body, sleep well, stay hydrated, manage your stress, and then invest in a good skincare routine. Beautiful skin is a lifestyle, not just a product. I'm Emmanuel Elise, and this is SOUQ Health Tips. Remember, your skin listens to everything your body tells it. So let's speak health from the inside out.
We've got just what you need right here at Femi Wash Media. Call it the Midas touch, and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix, and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
Welcome to Words of Our Fathers. Today we'll be considering a proverb that says, "A bird never forgets where it lays its eggs." A bird never forgets where it lays its eggs. What does this mean? For everybody, the young, the old, women, men, it means that we don't forget our roots. The young ones, unfortunately, are guilty of this. They forget, they don't obey traditions, they think tradition is bogus, is boring, and they look down on everything that is traditional. They are not patriotic enough in accepting what is Nigeria. They tend to follow foreign and Western ideas and innovations that make them look ridiculous. We must not forget our roots, where we come from, our traditions, our culture, the attributes of our culture, greeting elders, being patient, being neighborly with others. We should not forget our roots. We should remember where we come from and always give respect and emphasis on this. The words of our fathers are words of wisdom. My name is Bayo Olawi. Welcome to Words of Our Fathers. Today we'll be considering this proverb. When a hunter has one arrow, he does not shoot aimlessly. In other words, make use of the opportunities that you have. And there are immense opportunities in this country. There are immense opportunities at work. There are immense opportunities in the community. There are immense opportunities in the country. It also talks about talent. One should appreciate or show the talent that he has. One should be able to utilize his attributes or her attributes. Don't hide your talent. Show it. Let people know it. But don't be self-conceited about it. Use the opportunities before you. Seek for opportunities. Seek for new ways of doing things. And the world will be a better place. I am Bayo Olaoye.
My name is Yinka Babalola.
My name is Ijoma Pelokoro.
My name is Joshua Hassan.
I am Rotarian or Mosunde Lawson.
It's Ife Yunwarita Ejeze. My friends call me Ife.
My name is Rotarian Lola Dare.
I'm inviting you to keep watching SOUQ News. It's the right station to tune to.
I like SOUQ News. SOUQ News is good.
I want to charge you all to listen to SOUQ News, watch the news.
You can have unlimited news, first time.
Find SOUQ News. Be with SOUQ News. Never switch off. You are better for it. SOUQ News is the real thing.
Listen to their coverage and you'll be glad you did.
Turn to your YouTube, turn to your Instagram, turn to all your digital channels and look for SOUQ News.
Keep watching.
Keep watching
Please, guys, keep watching
SOUQ News.
In the thick green lawns of southern Nigeria, beneath towering trees and amidst age-old traditions, grows a fruit as bitter as truth, but as valuable as gold. It's called bitter kola, known scientifically as Garcinia kola. This small brown nut hides layers of history, health, and hidden wealth. To the untrained eyes, it's just a bitter snack chewed by others or hawked in traffic. But to the world of herbal medicine, pharmaceuticals, and agro-export, bitter kola is a plant of promise, a potent gift of the rainforest. Across communities in Ondo, Cross River, Edo, and the southeast, bitter kola has long been used for its medicinal properties, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, and antiviral. In traditional medicine, it's a cure for cough, a guardian of the liver, a friend of fertility. But beyond tradition, global demand is rising. Researchers abroad are exploring its use in managing glaucoma, boosting immunity, and even fighting viruses. And while many countries import, Nigeria stands tall as a natural home of bitter kola. Yet, like gum arabic, most of our bitter kola is exported raw. No branding, no packaging, no processing. Just sacks of potent sent abroad for a fraction of what they are worth. Imagine this, a local SMA producing organic bitter kola supplements, branded extracts for the global herbal market, or dried sliced kola shipped to Europe, Asia, America, or capsules, oil, tea, cosmetics from a tree right in your backyard. If you're a youth, entrepreneur, or agro-lover, here is how to plug in. 1. Harvesting. Locate local trees or cultivate them. They thrive in humid forests. In 2022 alone, Nigeria exported over 160 metric tons of bitter kola, generating an estimated 2.6 billion naira in export earnings, according to trade reports. But experts believe this is just scratching the surface. For small players, even processing 10 kg into powder or capsules can fetch a tidy margin, selling at 10,000 naira to 15,000 naira per kilo, locally as organic herb supplements. Now we go to 2. drying, and preservation. Proper storage is key for export quality. At the local level, one sack of properly dried bitter cola, about 50 kg, can sell for 100,000 to 120,000 naira, depending on quality and market. Value addition. When grinded into powder, guided by professional knowledge, it could be infused into oil or capsule for supplements. Now we go to marketing and export. Target diaspora communities, herbal industries, and wellness markets. Exporters in Lagos or Port Harcourt resell the same quantity internationally for $600 to $800 per sack, especially in markets like the US, UK, and China. Research and innovation, that's another clue. Collaborate with local labs to explore new uses. Larger scale processors targeting international wellness markets with branded products can make millions monthly, especially with a consistent supply, packaging, and certifications like NAFDAC or FDA approval. Of course, there are challenges such as deforestation, lack of processing equipment, low awareness, and inconsistent market structures. But where there is a bitter cola 3, there is opportunity waiting to be unlocked. With cooperatives, training, youth-focused agro schemes, and export incentives, bitter cola could be Nigeria's next agro star, sitting silently, waiting to be noticed. So next time you see a wrinkled nut by the roadside, don't just think bitter. Think business. Think export. Think legacy. Cash can be crafted not only in the offices, but in the orchard, in a forest, and in forgotten fruits. This is Grace Komolafe bringing you clues from the quiet corners of commerce. I'll see you again next time.
Hello Lagos, make we yarn.
Hello, boy, if this POS matter, don't pass your call. Person go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
Maybe you fake alert the warriors.
Okay, so wanna listen to If you dey do POS business, not expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbefi. They don't walk that bar road where they worry for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what, development with the work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Oyemike, aka Ogbefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
In Southern Africa, a different story was unfolding. One of movement, settlement, and growing tension over one critical resource land. For centuries, indigenous communities in Southern Africa live as pastoralists, moving with their cattle across open lands. Land was not owned in the modern sense. It was shared, used, and sustained. This began to change in the 17th century. European settlers, led by the Dutch East India Company, established a settlement in the Cape. Over time, settlers expanded beyond the initial outpost, claiming land for farming and livestock. This expansion brought conflict. Indigenous groups resisted the loss of grazing land, arguing that it had belonged to them for generations, but settlers asserted control, often backed by force and formal agreements that favored their position. A new system was taking shape, one based on ownership, boundaries, and exclusion. This marked a turning point from shared use of land to contested control. This chapter highlights a critical issue. Land is not just a resource. It is identity, livelihood, and power. Across Africa today, land remains central to development, from agriculture to urban expansion to investment. This challenge is balancing access, ownership, and equity. because how land is managed often determines who prospers and who is left behind. As empires rose and fell, a new force began to shape North Africa, not through armies, but through belief. Christianity spread across the region, bringing unity but also division. During the later years of Roman rule, Christianity took root across North Africa. It spread through cities, communities, and institutions, becoming a powerful social and cultural force. Disagreements over doctrine and authority led to deep divisions within the Christian community. Different groups emerged, each claiming legitimacy. These were not just religious debates, they shaped power, identity, and control within society. Christianity in Africa developed its own character, rooted in local cultures and tradition. From Egypt to Ethiopia, distinct expressions of faith took shape, reflecting the diversity of the continent. But division weakened coercion. Religious dispute, combined with political pressures, left society fragmented. Unity, once strengthened by shared belief, became harder to sustain. This highlights a recurring theme in history. Ideas can unite people, but divisions over those same ideas can weaken institutions. Across Africa today, diversity remains a strength, but managing differences, religious, ethnic, or political, is key to stability and development, because the real challenge is not difference, it is division.
SOUQ Atlantic has become Nigeria's most sought-after city for its high-end infrastructure, prestige, and well-planned city layout, as reflected in an 8-lane boulevard, about 13 internal bridges, underground cables, and green footprints defined by over 30,000 trees. Additionally, having a building in the city has become a trend among the so-called big boys, as was the case with Old Ikoyi, Victoria Garden City, popularly called VGC, Osborne Foreshore, and now Banana Island. In this special report, Bayo Olaoye states that this talk of "I belong" and the prestige mentality has also spread to the big firms. Before now, Kingsway and Ozumba Mbadiwe used to say that Victoria Island were the go-to locations for high-rise office buildings. These locations are home to iconic developments such as Kingsway Towers, Heritage Palace, Fanfare Towers, the Wings and the Waves, among others, making them Nigeria's equivalent of Silicon Valley. The SOUQ Atlantic City was modeled after the skyscraper district of Manhattan Island in New York City. It has become the new destination for big-ticket corporate firms which are building or relocating their new headquarters to the 10-square-kilometer city, rising off the coast of the Atlantic Ocean in Lagos. The city is attracting investment interests in both residential and commercial real estate, the latest being MTN Nigeria, preparing to build a new headquarters. MTN is coming on the heels of First Bank, which recently turned the turf to build a 40-floor corporate head office, making the city's most iconic development so far. Prior to this courageous and ambitious entry into SOUQ City by MTN, First Bank, Dangote Group, and the Embassy of the United States of America have taken positions there, developing a new head office and a diplomatic facility respectively. Much earlier, A co-development company had occupied the city as the developer of the Azuri Towers, offering both residential and commercial facilities for high clients and corporate bodies. Arcland Property Investment and Oak Homes are also in the city, developing A&A towers simultaneously. These are the residential developments that will be standing on the 22nd floor and the 33rd floors respectively. Other developments are the Pan-African Towers by Periwinkle Residences, Eco Pearl with Champagne Tower and Eco Pearl Black Tower. Amni Towers and Ani International Petroleum Development Company, and Louisville Towers by Total Energy Staff Cooperative and Multipurpose Society. Louisville will comprise 300 residential homes spread between 2 towers, a world-class sporting center and a club, retail outlets and other facilities. It is designed to employ modern technology to achieve smart living and high standards. Eco Atlantic is an exclusive luxury city with superior infrastructure that appeals to the kind of investors we have seen in the city so far.
Well, Supporters Club had been there for 66 years when it was founded officially, but those who funded it were just doing it for the fun. We just come to the field, drum, sing and go. Nobody gave them any recognition. But I joined them in the year 1977. Well, I paid 2 naira to join. And how did I join? It was because of an incident that happened at the National Stadium. The Shooting Stars of Ibadan and the Bendel Insurance of Benin were playing the semi-final of the FA competition that year. And I had to go to enter the stadium. I paid 4 naira to watch the game. While entering the stadium, the whole place was filled. And when I got inside, there was no place for me to sit down. So many of us were standing. Out there, people outside the gate of the stadium, they were more than the people right inside. So as at a point in time, while standing, some people just took me off ground and threw me into the crowd. And I started rolling until I landed on the culvert, concrete. Concrete slab. Before I knew it, over 50 people were on my top. And I could no longer breathe. So to me that day, it appeared I was going to die. But through the grace of God, I was able to wriggle out myself of that position. And the man directly on top of me had to leave because what I did was by biting him. And I had to struggle to go under the concrete slab. And I was right there for the first half of the game, 45 minutes. I was right there under the concrete slab. I couldn't watch the game. It was the breeze that was coming from the outer part of the stadium that saved the situation. After the first half, you know, people will get up to go to the toilets, to go and buy drinks and meet their friends. I had the opportunity of coming out, and a good Samaritan gave me a small place to sit. Even at that, I was very unconscious. I was not comfortable. But the game ended. It was a drawn game. When the game ended, everybody left the stadium. But because I wasn't very comfortable, I had to wait in the stadium for like an hour and a half before I left. So when I left and I got home, 9 p.m. network news, breaking news. 32 people died in the stadium that day. And that, the thought came to me. I probably could have been one of them. But I thank God. That was what informed my decision to say, I will not go to the stadium again until I have the best way to go into the stadium without being killed, maimed, or injured. And I decided to move with those people, and I joined them. But then we were just doing it. Maybe 20 of us, 15, 30 of us, we meet under the trees of the National Stadium, and we go home. And since that period, immediately I became a member. I introduced what they call flag bearing. When from 1977 to 1990, every Nigerian team that came out of the tunnel or goes out there outside Nigeria to play, you will see the Nigerian green, white, green flag being carried by one person. It's me. I did that flag bearing for 13 whole years. Whenever the team is played, I will be there with them, whether it's the Super Eagles, the under-20, the under-23, the Falcons, and the rest, all our national teams. Even our club sides going out to play Continental. When you see the green, white, green of Nigeria, I used to be the one carrying that flag. So I was with them, and I rose within the ranks from being an assistant secretary to becoming the national secretary and also the chairman of the disciplinary panel of the Nigerian Football Supporters Club. And by 1990, I was voted to be the chairman. That was when the thoughts of registering the club came. So when you hear that the Nigerian Football Supporters Club founder officially, because of its registration, I did the registration. Registering the club, I moved it from Lagos to Ibadan, Oyo State. I'm an Ibadan man. Charity begins at home, they say. So I went to Ibadan. From Ibadan, I moved to Bauchi. I moved to Abuja, Kano, Port Harcourt, all the states of the Federation. By 1992, I went to Côte d'Ivoire, in Abidjan precisely, to launch the Supporters Club. I went there physically, bringing the Nigerians together, those living in Abidjan. I formed the Supporters Club and launched it officially. I left that place, I went to Ghana. I launched it in Ghana. Leaving Ghana, I went to Gambia. I went to Burkina Faso. I went to Mali. I went to Republic of Benin. I went to Togo. I went to all the countries of Africa, putting the supporters club in place in those countries. By 1995, I moved to the United States of America. I launched the supporters club at the Giant Sports Stadium in New Jersey in 1995. After that, I went to France in 1997 to launch the supporters club in France in 1997 because we were already thinking of going to France to play in the World Cup. And if the Super Eagles will not have enough supporters there, what will happen to them? Don't forget that I led the supporters club to the United States of America for the very first time we played in the World Cup in 1994. I was at the Copa America in 1995. That was when I had the opportunity of launching the supporters club in America. In 1996, I led the supporters club to Atlanta in 1996. And the winning of the trophy, the gold in football event, made possible by the supporters club, support of the supporters club. Because when you listen, when that match, you remember that we played a match with Brazil in the preliminary stage, and we lost 1-0. But we had the opportunity again to meet them during the semi-final. And during the semi-final, Brazil had given us 3 goals. We were trailing 1-3 at the interval. And when the second half came up, we were given a penalty, I think 25 minutes to the end of the game. One of our players, I don't want to mention the name, but he knows, he lost that penalty kick. That was when God told me, sing this song. It's a miracle working God. It's a miracle working God. He's the Alpha and Omega. He's a miracle working God. Of course, my members chorused. Indeed, miracle came. We scored the second goal. And the then Minister of Sports, Chief Jim Nwobodo, came to our stand and said, let it go. I heard you guys singing, it's a miracle working God. It's like God is going to make a miracle to happen today. I said, yes. And we continued. I changed the song. I have a Father who never fails. I have a Father who never fails. I have a Father who never fails. Who never fail, who never fail, forevermore. Amen. Jesus never failed. Amen. Jesus never failed. Amen. Jesus never failed. Jesus never failed. Jesus never failed. Forevermore. We scored the third goal. Then another song came. Boya chukuna gaza. Boya chukuna gaza mere. Messiah yobiuma. Boya chukuna gaza. The match ended and there was to be the extra time. And that time it was a sudden death rule. Immediately I sang that song, my people chorused. And the ball was coming to Kanun Wakwo. He was backing the goalkeeper. Chested the ball, raised it up, turned around and tapped it to the net. And that was the 4 goals the Nigerian team scored against Brazil. And they started crying. And I decided to form another song. When Nigeria beat Brazil, when Nigeria beat Brazil, oh, Bebeto start to cry. When Nigeria beat Brazil, why Bebeto? Because they pulled him out. They were thinking, they were reserving him because they thought they would meet Argentina in the final. Unknowingly to them, that they will be beaten, they don't know. So I did that song, and we sailed into the final, meeting Argentina in the final. And that again happened. Argentina was leading us 2-1. But we came from 1-2 to beat them 3-2. Yeah, to answer your question, I did that to tell you what the supporters club is to the team. And what this man felt by registering the club is that I have that belief. And it is general. Everybody must have it. That this is Nigeria, it's our country. We have to do something by giving it a positive image, whether in Nigeria or outside. You do know that all of us cannot be Mr. President of Nigeria. All of us cannot be governors, and not all of us will be members of the National Assembly. But all of us as Nigerians have special roles to play in giving our country a befitting and positive image. That is the reason why this man has been following football supportership all the time to date. Well, I want to tell you, like I said earlier on, the grace of God has been the secret. The other secret is that my members, I get them reoriented to believe in my vision. All of them supports what I was doing. They all love this country. They want to contribute their own to the good name of Nigeria. That has been the secret. And don't forget, any member of the supporters club should be referred to as a patron par excellence, because they are not paid. They are not given any allowance. They use their time, their money, even at the risk of their lives, to support the cause of Nigeria through supportership. Well, majorly, it is funding. The challenges is funding, because if you have to support the team, yes, they are playing in Lagos, you may not spend much money. But when they are playing in Enugu, they are playing in Uyo, they are playing in Abuja, you need money, no matter how. But come to think of you traveling with 100, 200, 300, 600 supporters outside Nigeria. They will not go by road. They will go by air. It's a lot of money that we need in running the supporters club. So our main challenges has been that of funding. But I can assure you that God has been good to us. We have had some philanthropists, some organizations who have come to assist us by way of supporting us, giving us a lot of money. And if you will not mind, I will have to put it on record that the very first company that supported Supporters Club was Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola did it for 2 years. They could no longer do it. Then, for 1 year, MTN did it. They could no longer sustain it. Well, later we got Globacom. Dr. Mike Adenuga Jr. has been the brain, the backbone, the sponsor, and the financier of the Supporters Club for several years, doling out millions from 50 to 60 to 100 million of naira, and even in dollars. So that has been the way that has been how we have been able to surmount it, we have some philanthropists. We have Taiwo Afolabi, who has always supported us whenever we are going out. I remember Alhaji Aliko Dangote in 1996. He supported us. And some other Nigerians too. Esther Ajayi, when we were going to Russia 2018, I went to this woman and I told her our problems. The second day, she was able to give us 20 million. I went to meet the then governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Governor Ambody. He gave me 10 million. The club, not me per se, he gave the club. And when we were going to Brazil in 2014, that was the very first time any government supported us. We went to Brazil. Before going, I visited the then president, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. After decorating him as our patron, he pronounced a 50 million naira grant for us to go to Brazil. Actually, we were going to request from him a whole plane to take us there because we were going for a national assignment. Supporters Club is a selfless service. But the president gave us 50 million. I mean, good luck, Jonathan. But we ended up spending 189 million. The difference of that was raised by me going to Dr. Mike Adenuga, Taiwo Afolabi, Esther Ajayi, Ambode, and the rest. That's how we've been running the club. We've been running the club, meeting people who lost the game of football, who lost Nigeria, and they have been helping us. Well, very, very unfortunate. It's a story I hate to be talking about all the time because I've said many things about it more than 100 times. Supporters Club had been there for several years. And Dr. Rafiu Ladipo was the national chairman for just 10 years, from 1990 to 2000. I left that position in 2000. And then somebody else became the national chairman. And that was Alhaji Waidi Anderile Yusuf, who was the chairman for 8 good years. After him, there was Otumba Olatunde Bashorun. He was there for 4 years. And there came a time when one Mr. Vincent Okumagba acted in that capacity for 3.5 years. And there was one little mistake, misunderstanding, because people will not want to wait for their time. And all I told them is, please, go through an election. Anybody who would not want to go through an election is not supposed to be on that chair of the national chairman. That's what came up. And the then NFF believed that there could be 20 arms of supporters clubs in Nigeria. It could even run to 100 units. But it's unhealthy. You cannot have a situation where your team is playing right on the field and you have different corners where you have the Nigerian supporters scattered all over the field, singing in different voices. It's not good. But look, I've been able to manage it because God has told me that supporters must not die. Supporters will not die. I have to be patient to let them see reasons why the supporters club should go and support the teams with unity. As a unit, go and support the team. But if you have funded your own, maybe you have registered your own, you have your own office, you can stay in your office. Manage your office the way you want to manage it. But when it becomes a national assignment, you are going out to represent Nigeria. All of us as supporters must come together to support Nigeria as a group supporting one team. Not when you have some people in angle 90, some people in angle 180, some people in angle 360, some people in angle 60, supporting one team. It does not all go well. There's nothing you are going to achieve from this. I remember when we were in Russia, and my members have gone in. I normally wait for all of them to go in before I will finally go in. So when I was going in as the last person, I entered the stadium, and I saw them, some people up there, I saw some people on the left, I saw some people on the right. And when I was going to meet the band boys, some of their security men came to me, I'm in Russia, and asked me where I was going. I said I was going to meet my people. They said I should bring their ticket, my ticket. And when they saw the ticket, no, you can't go there, go there. That place is not yours. Your seat is downstairs there. How do I coordinate the activities of my members? This is what we've been telling them. Supporters Club must be united. They must come together, sing together, cheer the team together, and let us have a befitting result. When the referee and all the match officials see a group of people, even if you are 200 or 300, converging in one special place together, in your uniforms, in your green and white, and you are singing, they know you have come to support your team. So it takes them every reason to want to do the game better. Well, when you are not there, in a capacity crowd of 90,000, we had 5 supporters here, 2 there, 7 there. When the Argentines were about 87,000 in the field, singing for their team. So I believe that the Supporters Club must be together. I've been able to manage it now, up to now. The national chairman of the Supporters Club, as we speak, is Reverend Samuel Ikpeya. He coordinates the activities of the Supporters Club in Nigeria. While worldwide, I'm the President General because we have Supporters Club in all the other countries of the world. And when we come together, there must be one person. There must be the head. We have the president of the Supporters Club in Côte d'Ivoire. We have the chairman of the Supporters Club in UK. In all Francophone countries, the head of the Supporters Club is called president. In Anglophone countries, the head of Supporters Club is addressed as Mr. Chairman. So the President General is not just what we just came out with. It's because there's a need for it. That's why the President General worldwide comes up. Well, I have told you a lot of people don't want to wait for their time. And when you don't wait for your time, what do you lose? You lose much. There was going to be an election. And I called all of them, go and pick your nomination papers for the election. But some of them would not want to because they want appointments. And I don't believe in appointments because we have a constitution in the Supporters Club that says everybody and anybody who wants to be an officer must contest for election. I insisted that there must be an election. Some people would not want an election because they know, probably they believe they cannot win. They decided to say, oh, let's go our way because we don't want election. That's it. Before now, up to about 8 years, 10 years ago, the Super Eagles were really super. But in the last 8 years, we have not been there. We have not been doing well. Don't forget that in 1994, Nigeria's team, the Super Eagles, were judged to be the 5th best in the world. What is our ranking now? 37th in the world. Even in Africa, what is our ranking? So the Eagles of the last 8, 9 years ago, no, they have not done well at all. I want anybody to tell me what did we win in in the last 8-9 years. Don't forget that in 1980, we won the Cup of Nations right here at the National Stadium. In 1994, we were in Tunisia. We won it. In 2013, we were in South Africa. We won the Cup of Nations. In 1996, we won the Atlanta Olympics. Since then, what can we point to that we have won? So the Eagles of the last 8-9 years, no. They did their best, but their best was not good enough for Nigeria. And that's why we didn't win nothing. But I want to believe that the present crop of Eagles being put together now, going for the Cup of Nations, we want to write their names in gold. And if that is so, it means they have to put in their best to see that going to Côte d'Ivoire 2024 will not just be going there to make a number. We're going there to give a very good account of ourselves. Who says it is not possible for Nigeria to win the Cup of Nations again? It is possible, but it takes a determined group of people as players who wants to write their names in gold to do that. When you are rating the coach, a coach is as good as his last match. Pasero was employed, he was given a target, and the NFF has the power to either sack or renew his contract. I think according to them, maybe he has performed according to what they want. But for me, as a Nigerian, I want Pasero to go to Côte d'Ivoire and show us that he is serious and show us that the Super Eagles can still fly and make us get minimally play in the semi-final of the Cup of Nations. Anything short of that, no. Well, I want to believe that our Nigerian coaches are good. There have been 2 or 3 foreign coaches that have done well. Westhoff, Bonfrejo, and this which doctor, what's his name again? I'll remember his name. This guy qualified us to play in the World Cup with a match to go. The witch doctor. Well, the witch coach, we call him, we remember it's now it will come back. So, since then, there's no foreign coach that has done better. I was one of the people that went to London to recruit this man I'm talking about. When we recruited him, he came to Nigeria, and he made us to qualify for the World Cup with a match still to go. Philippe Troussé. I was there in England where we interviewed him. Well, since then, it has been one coach coming to take our money, not giving a very good account of us, of himself. But the Nigerian coaches, let's also praise some of them. Some of them. The late Shuaibu Amadu qualified us to play in the World Cup, even though he did not take us there. The late Stephen Keshi also made us to win the Cup of Nations of 2013 in South Africa. So if that happens, who says the Nigerian coaches are not good? Some Nigerian coaches have proved themselves, but they still need to do more. But these 2 coaches, exceptional. That is the real reason, the real controversy we're having between the NFF and the coaches. You don't hire a coach if you know you cannot pay his wages. You must be ready to pay his salary as at when due. There's no coach who will labor and labor, and after which you would have trained your players, and you are owing him salaries of 5 months, 7 months. Which coach will take that? Where is that happening across the world? Nobody will accept that. So that has to be looked into. And that is why the NFF has got to look for serious sponsors and raise funds for them to be self-sufficient, to be able to take all these challenges of paying the coaches wages. That is a big problem. And I think the present NFF board, led by Ibrahim Guzo, will look into that, look for sponsors, serious sponsors who are interested, not just interested, but who are genuinely interested in the Nigerian game and in the Nigerian nation. You may be interested in the Nigerian game, but if you are not interested in the Nigerian game, Nigerian nation, you may not give what it takes to do. You must have the love of this country at heart, and then love the game also. In the last 15, 10, 8 years, our boxing went down. In the last 5 years to today, our boxing has come up. I am the president of the Nigerian Boxing Board of Control, and I confirm to you that every week now, we have a boxing championship. We had one last week. Tomorrow, we will have one in Abuja. When I come back the following week, there's another one. We have promoters now promoting our boxing events. And our boxers are now earning big money, other than what they were earning before. In those days, they were earning 20, 30,000. They go on the ring, they hit them, they shed blood, and they sweat. What do they earn? But since the last 3, 4 years, our boxers have been earning big money, some of them earning millions, some of them traveling abroad to earn $5,000, $10,000. And that is made possible because we have a group of people in the Nigerian Boxing Board of Control who respects each other, who respect the boxers, who respects the coaches, and who respects the promoters. Take, for instance, I'm sorry to mention, Go TV. Go TV night every day. They've had about 29 Go TV sessions. You know what that means? Go TV for every boxing fight. They don't spend less than 20 million. They even spend more. And our boxing now is being watched all over the world, if not just Africa. A lot of things have been said about this. We have sent memos, we have sent advice, we have met with the people in charge severally. I've had to write to put the Minister of Sports, the National Assembly, and the rest. How can we develop our sports? It's very important. Without grassroots development, you won't be there. As a matter of fact, Kanu Nwankwo happens to be a product of the Nigerian League. J.J. Okocha, product of Nigerian League. Finidi George, Emmanuel Amunike, and all of them played in the Nigerian League. How many of our Super Eagles players, those that are playing for us now, do you see what developed here? Maybe you have 2 or 3 home-based players playing. But the real product for our football development, they are here in Nigeria. We have to go back to those things we were doing that time when we got the likes of the Segun Odegbami, Henry Nwosu, Christian Chukwu, down to, Stephen Keshi, Okocha, and the rest. We have to go back. We don't have to rely on those players who have been serving us in the last 12, 15 years, believing that they will continue to serve us the same way. No matter what you do, players will get weak. They will age. And when they are aging, that's when they start referring to them as tiring legs. You need replacements for them. How do you get that? You can only get them from the local scenes. We have various clubs in Nigeria playing the leagues, the Premiership, the National League, and the rest. 20 teams in one. Do you know how many of our boys out there that can play football if we harness them, bring them together, and give them the right training? Of course, let me ask you, how many of our club sides have feeder teams? Feeder teams, they are very important to the development of the game. When you have a junior player playing the feeder team and is maturing, bring him to replace a tiring leg. In the senior team, how many of those teams that we have can boast of feeder teams? How many of them can boast of their own fields? Perhaps we have about 3 clubs that are privately owned. But others are owned by governments, state governments. And state governments, what do they use them for? For political gains. And if it is political gains, well, it's off it. Let's do football like it is done elsewhere. Football is big business. People are making billions of dollars in football. Nigeria can do same. If we do same, we will take off all this nonsense. The boys going about doing a lot of violence, going to do yahoo, going to do kidnapping and the rest. You will have all of them looking forward to becoming millionaires and billionaires in future. And of course, becoming employers of labor apart from fending for their families. Above 50 football. Yeah, it's above 50. I'm the chairman worldwide for that. And my president is Ambassador Edward Olutoke, who has given his support, his finances to be able to do this game. The thing is this, if you have played football, you have played up to the level that you are about 40, and you are no longer playing, you are no longer doing what you know how best to do, you now go and sit down, not doing nothing. Boredom sets in. And within that period, rather than getting fit, you are aging. Some of them developing sickness, various sicknesses that they ought not to have. But because they were no longer doing what they know how best to do, they sit down. So the concept is bringing them back. Not just the footballers, but anybody above 50 could play football. Keeping fit, and above all, living a standard life. Making money. There's a way, we have one thing we are developing with the above 50 concept for you to make money. Anybody who is above 50 and has no car of ease or no house of ease or a home has not been living standard. So above 50 concept is not just to play football alone, but to help you to keep fit, to keep you healthy, and make you to live standard life and make money. That is what we're doing. And as I speak with you, Brazil has embraced it. Mexico has written to us that they will want to play with us. The last competition we had 8 clubs. Ajegule, Surulere, Redeem, Etiraikate, Abeokuta, all of them, they came to play at the National Stadium. And the prize, the winner's prize was 5 million, which was paid instantly. The second place was 2 million, while the third place was 1 million. And we put a lot of money in organizing that. We are going to start the second edition very soon. We are now having clubs from Benin, Edo, where people from Abuja, people from Kwara registering to be part of the above 50 football. How much do they put into sports? What you have in sports is noise. How much money do they put into sports? They need more money to run sports, particularly the development of the sports, not just taking part in competitions. Because if you have to develop sports, it takes a lot of money. And all those successful countries doing sports, it's because they have put money into its development. So government has got to put more money into the development of sports. Fantastic women. They've done us proud severally, having been champions of Africa for 9 times. I don't think any country in Africa can boast of that. But beyond that, we should also realize that these ladies, they are getting old. Some of them are 40, 38, 36, down the ladder. You need replacements for them. That's why we're asking that we should put more money, we should put more focus in the development of sports, both male and female. I think with what the female national team has done for Nigeria, we owe it a duty to put more money into the development of female football. I'm not thinking about that. If I want to, I would have been in politics, party politics. I would have been there, and by now I think I would have been something else. But no, I chose to be part of giving an image to Nigeria, a good image, positive one. Take, for instance, if you go out of the country, you get to the entry point of any country, and you speak of our sports. They give you a wide latitude for you to go in. Well, you say when you get there, you speak sports. They ask you, where's Kano? Where's Okocha? Where's Finidi? Where's Amokachi? That means they recognize Nigeria sports. In fact, that's the only thing we can be proud of right now. Every other thing we talk in diversities. But when it comes to sports, every one of us were together. If the Nigerian team is playing and a Christian has to pray, and he say, I pray that the Super Eagles wins today's match, in Jesus' name I pray. Even the Muslim will say amen. So together in sports, where in this country, football and sports is a lifeline, particularly football. Football unites not just the states, it unites the country, it unites the countries of the world. So I believe we can do much more in promoting and supporting our sports so that we get the best benefits, as we say. First and foremost, I want to use this opportunity once again to congratulate him on his appointment. I've met him twice now, and I'm going to meet him soon again. And why am I going to meet him is to advise him on what I think from my own views and from what I've seen to improve sports. First, we have talked about it. The development of sports is key. Not just the taking part in competitions. Because if you are not developing sports, you are only taking in competition. If you don't win, what happens? But if you develop sports, 1, you are helping the youth. 2, you are helping the nation. 3, you are growing the economy. And thirdly, you are removing restiveness and restlessness of the youth in the society. I want us to advise the minister to key into the development of sports from the grassroots. Let's go back to the schools. Let's go back to the rural areas. Football is played everywhere. Go under the bridges, you see people playing football. Let the minister put in place, through the NFF, a consortium of coaches that will go to these schools, that will go to these corners. Everywhere in Nigeria, you have talents that can be helped, sponsored, and nurtured to stardom. Once we do that, our sports will improve. And let the minister put his feet there on ground and say, every club that is playing in the Premiership and the National League must have their feeder teams, must have their own fields and other infrastructures to make them develop sports. Thank you very much. I want to pray for this organization to continue to thrive, to continue to blossom in making money, because without money, this kind of things that I hear cannot be sustained. So God will grow you the more, and your business will continue to flourish.
Hello Nigeria, hello Africa. Yeah, this is Sound Man. Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Babalola from Excel LED. Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoy you all to watch, always watch SOUQ News TV.
Hi, I'm Tom Bogaballs, and please keep watching SOUQ News.
Wale Seriki, SLG Lagos Island East, SOUQ News. Keep out watching them and keep a lookout for them. They're up and coming, and we're proudly to be affiliated with them.
You alone where they make me go crazy. This your love in the cool of my brain. You're my medicine, I need you all day. Yo, it's Blackface Nigeria, and you're watching SOUQ News TV. Keep it locked on this dial, don't change it. You know what I say? Blackface Nigeria, love no bad.
Hello Lagos, make we yarn.
Hello, boy, if this POS matter, don't pass your call. Person go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
Nigga, you say alert the warriors.
Okay, so wanna listen, If you dey do POS business, not expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbuefi. They don't walk that bar road where they warrior for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what, development with the work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Oyemike, aka Ogbuefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
For the Roman Empire, Egypt was more than a territory. It was a lifeline, a source of grain, a pillar of survival. But dependence came with risk. After the fall of pharaohs and the struggles of competing empires, Egypt came under Roman control. Its role changed from an independent power to a critical supplier with a vast imperial system. The Romans relied heavily on Egypt's agricultural output, especially grain, shipped along the Nile and across the Mediterranean. Egypt became the breadbasket of Rome. Its fertile lands fed a growing population far beyond Africa. This created a powerful economic link, but also a dangerous dependency. When the system worked, it sustained an empire. But when disruptions occurred, whether from political instability, mismanagement, or environmental factors, the consequences were severe. The Nile, once a source of life, could also become a point of vulnerability. Maintaining control over Egypt required constant oversight. The stakes were too high. Any disruption in supply could threaten stability far beyond its borders. Over time, pressures mounted. The system that once sustained power became increasingly fragile. This highlights a key economic lesson. Resource wealth can strengthen a system, but overdependence can also weaken it. Across Africa today, many economies still depend heavily on a single resource: oil, minerals, or agriculture. The question remains, how sustainable is that model? Because history reminds us, what feeds growth can also expose weakness. For centuries, Europe searched for a powerful Christian king in Africa, a ruler of wealth, influence, and faith. They called him Prester John. The legend of Prester John spread across medieval Europe, describing a distant Christian kingdom filled with riches and power. Many believe this kingdom existed somewhere in Africa, particularly in the Ethiopian highlands. Driven by this belief, European powers began searching for this ally, sending envoys and explorers across unfamiliar territories. Their goal was not just discovery, but alliance, trade, and strategic advantage. But the reality was more complex. Ethiopia did exist as a Christian kingdom, but not in the form imagined by European legend. The gap between perception and reality shaped by early interactions. Even so, the idea of Prester John had real consequences. It influenced exploration, diplomacy, and early global connections, a myth that helped drive real-world decisions. This chapter reveals an important lesson. Perception can be as powerful as reality in shaping economic and political action. Today, Africa still faces perception challenges. How it is seen globally can influence investment, partnership, and opportunity, because in the global arena, what people believe often shapes what they do. Across the Atlantic Ocean, a system emerged that would reshape Africa and the world. It was built on trade but driven by human suffering. The Middle Passage refers to the transatlantic journey taken by enslaved Africans, forcibly transported from their homelands to the Americas. This was part of a wider trading system linking Africa, Europe, and the Americas. Millions were taken, creating one of the largest forced migrations in history. The journey across the Atlantic was brutal. Men, women, and children were packed into ships under extreme conditions. Many did not survive the crossing. For those who did, life would never be the same. The slave trade became a major economic system driven by demand for labor in the Americas. African societies were drawn into this system in complex ways as suppliers, intermediaries, and victims. The consequences were profound. Communities were disrupted. Populations were depleted. The long-term effect shaped Africa's development trajectory for centuries. This chapter reveals a harsh truth. Economic system can generate wealth while causing deep and lasting damage. Today, the legacy of this period still echoes in global inequalities and in this structure of international economic relationships. Because history is not just about what happened, but what continues to shape the present.
Nigeria possesses the terrain, the climate, and a growing global market right on its doorstep. Yet, what the nation has lacked is a credible plan to capture any of it. While Nigeria has always grown coffee, there has been tragically little to show for it in recent years. Today, we look at the structural failures and the massive opportunity waiting in the highlands. The truth, according to reporter Bayo Olaoye, is simple. You cannot build a processing industry for a product that people do not consume in meaningful volumes. Currently, Nigerian coffee culture is nascent, accounting for just 2.3% of non-alcoholic drinks consumed domestically. This divergence is a problem, but it is also a $2 billion annual revenue opportunity. For decades, coffee farmers have faced inconsistent buyers, poor prices, and a near total lack of credit. Over 90% of small-scale farmers cite poor pricing as the reason they have reduced or abandoned production. In Ondo State, families are uprooting coffee trees planted by their grandparents, not because cocoa is more profitable, but because at least cocoa buyers are showing up. The statistics paint a grim picture of the current value chain. Only 5% of farmers are aware of the international export quality standards. 64% identify poor post-harvest processing as their primary source of loss. Labor accounts for 95% of farming costs, leaving zero margin for investment. In 2019, Kogi State farmers earned an average of just 66,291 naira per month. Nigeria's highland regions, Mambila, Obudu, and Jos, sit at altitudes between 1,600 and 2,000 meters. With volcanic soils and high rainfall, these are the exact conditions that specialty Arabica buyers spend millions searching for globally. The closest comparison is directly across the border. Nigeria's highlands are geographically adjacent with Cameroon's Western Highlands. Since launching Festi Coffee in 2012, local roasting in Cameroon jumped 8-fold in a single year. They built standards and a policy framework. Now, buyers are actively seeking them out. The deficit in Nigeria is institutional, not agricultural. The fastest path to revenue lies in post-harvest processing. Currently, farmers dry coffee berries with the full coat still on, which depresses quality and leads to rejection at European ports. Investing in wet processing mills can transform Nigerian beans from rejected goods into premium exports. There is hope on the horizon. The completion of the $1.5 billion Lekki Deep Sea Port and its rail network offers a structural shift. Positioning processing centers near these hubs can materially reduce the cost of reaching global buyers. Legislatively, the National Tea and Coffee Development Council bill are moving through the Senate. Additionally, the $950 million Africa Coffee Facility has been launched to boost high-quality African exports by 40%. The zero export status of 2024 is a flaw, not a permanent state. Investors who enter now are positioned to shape market standards rather than simply comply with them. Cameroon's success wasn't magic. It was sustained attention and deliberate investment. For Nigeria, the path forward is consistent work, applied to the right problems, in the right order.
Plastic waste is a mounting crisis, but it also presents an opportunity for business and government to lead the vanguard for systemic change. While regulations, corporate initiatives, and citizens' engagement have made progress, much more is needed in how businesses shape consumer behavior, how governments enforce environmental policies beyond rhetoric, and how public perception is managed through strategic communication. For decades, Nigeria's reliance on single-use plastic sachets, bags, and food packaging has grown, driven by affordability and convenience. However, this has come with a cost. The country generates an estimated 2.5 million tons of plastic wastes annually, with only about 12% recycled. In urban centers like Lagos, Abuja, Ibadan, Port Harcourt, waste is a leading contributor to clogged drainage systems, flooding, and environmental degradation. In this special report, Bayo Olaoye examines the challenges facing efforts to tackle the menace of plastic wastes in the country. Despite past government efforts to curb indiscriminate plastic use, such as Lagos environmental sanitation laws under former Governor Babatunde Fashola, enforcements have been inconsistent. The challenge now is moving beyond periodic government crackdowns and isolated corporate initiatives to a coordinated long-term shift towards a responsible plastic use, recycling, and waste management. Leading Nigerian manufacturing companies are taking active steps to integrate recycling and responsible disposal into their operations. Key initiatives include investing in recycling hubs, with Coca-Cola of Nigeria, Nestle, and Guinness setting up plastic recovery and recycling hubs, creating an ecosystem where post-consumer waste is collected, processed, and refused. Retailers and distributors are being encouraged and in some cases incentivized to set up collection points where consumers can return used packaging for responsible disposal. There is also brand-driven consumer education. Organizations have introduced citizen advocacy campaigns to influence individual waste disposal behavior. This kind of messaging, when amplified by large brands, can have a ripple effect in shifting cultural habits. Beyond environmental responsibility, investing in circular economy models enhances long-term profitability, strengthens brand equity, and aligns with global environmental, social, and governance standards. To effectively shape consumer behavior and stakeholders' engagement, businesses must leverage communication strategies that go beyond compliance reports. Employees should be active participants in sustainability efforts. Companies can integrate sustainability training, incentivize waste reduction, and implement office-wide plastic reduction policies, engaging suppliers, investors, and partners in sustainability commitments such as reducing excessive packaging or co-investing in recycling solutions to create an ecosystem-wide impact. Mass communication campaigns, social influencers, partnerships, and media collaborations can help educate consumers on practical steps for responsible plastic use and disposal. While Nigeria has engaged in international climate and sustainability conversations, the government must go beyond policy declarations and foreign aid incentives. The priority should be local, long-term economic and health benefit. Rather than reactivate bans that are often poorly enforced, the government can provide tax incentives for businesses, investing in recycling infrastructure while enforcing stricter regulations on reduction and disposal, expanding waste management facilities, establishing more government-led recycling centers, and integrating waste picker into a formalized economy can improve efficiency and create jobs. The administration of Governor Babatunde Fashola demonstrated that when the government takes waste disposal seriously with clear penalties for violations, Citizens, pay attention. The government must invest and consistently engage public education on the economic and health impact of plastic waste. A cleaner environment leads to a lower public health costs, fewer disease outbreaks, and increased workers' productivity due to better air quality and more usable public spaces. The Nigerian plastic waste problem is not just an environmental issue. It is an economic and reputational challenge for businesses and a government issue for policymakers. By adopting strategic communications, businesses can shift consumer behavior, governments can enhance enforcement, and citizens can embrace a cleaner and more sustainable future.
We've got just what you need right here at Femi Wash Media. Call it the Midas Touch, and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix, and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
Optimism is a strategy for making a better future, because unless you believe that the future can be better, you are unlikely to step up and take responsibility for making it so. Responsibility is the price of greatness. How else can one explain the thought process of a 24-year-old youth leaving the luxurious comforts in the United States to fill in for his incarcerated father in sub-Saharan Africa, Nigeria, and run a family business holding the fort till stability was achieved? This is the story of Abdul Samad Rabiu, an unassuming, silent achiever. Samad Rabiu attended Capital University, Columbus, Ohio, and returned to Nigeria to oversee the family business when his father, Ishaku Rabiu, was detained by the administration of General Muhammadu Buhari for allegedly not paying the rice report duties. Not only was his father under investigation, the family business was under scrutiny. These harsh realities of being thrust right into the middle of it all shaped the young man's resolve to hard work in silence. Abdul Samad Rabiu is the son of one of Nigeria's foremost industrialists, late Khalifa Ishaku Rabiu, founder of Ishaku Rabiu and Sons Group, the family-operated holding company with a history of investment in manufacturing, insurance, banking, and real estate. In the 1970s, the group invested in manufacturing, with its first investment being the Kano Suits and Packaging Cases Company, a factory producing suitcases and handbags. In 1972, the Bagauda Textile Mill, manufacturing woven clothes for uniforms, importing and trading in different segments of the economy, including frozen food service, sugar, and a motor vehicle and parts distribution company specialized in Daihatsu products. Abdul Samad Rabiu was born with a very big silver spoon in the ancient city of Kano on the 4th day of August in 1960, 57 days to Nigerian independence. 24 years later, responsibility beckoned. He was in the family business till 1988. Abdul Samad Rabiu, following in the steps of the family business to establish BUA Bois International Limited in 1988. Solely for commodity trading, Bois International Limited imported rice, edible oil, flour, iron, and steel. The much-needed wins to his sale came in 1990. The government, owners of the Dettol Steel Company, got into a contract with Bois to supply its raw materials in exchange for finished products. This was the young company's much-needed windfall. BUA expanded further into steel, producing pellets, importing iron ore, and constructing multiple rolling mills in Nigeria. Nigerian Oil Mills Limited, the largest edible oil processing company in Nigeria, was sadly bought by BUA in 2005. BUA started 2 flour milling plants in Lagos and in Kano. By 2008, BUA had broken an 8-year monopoly in the Nigerian sugar industry by commissioning the second largest sugar refinery in sub-Saharan Africa. In 2009, the company went on to silently acquire a controlling stake in a publicly listed cement company in northern Nigeria, SOUQ Cement, and began to construct a $900 million cement plant in Ogbela, Edo State, completed and commissioned in 2015, which is at that time the single largest non-oil investment in South Nigeria, and had a capacity of 6 million metric tons per annum upon completion of the second line. This was followed by a new 1.5 million metric tons line in Sokoto in 2018 and another 3 million metric ton line, which commenced in 2020 and was commissioned in 2022, bringing the total installed capacity for his cement holdings to 11 million metric tons as of January 2022. Abdul Samad Rabiu is very entrenched with his family in business, having over 40 siblings. His younger brother, Rabiu Ishaku Rabiu, was the CEO of IRS Airlines Limited, an airline based in Abuja, Nigeria. It operates scheduled domestic passenger services. Its main base was Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. The airline was established in 2002 and started operations in March 2002 and ceased operations in 2013. Kabiru Rabiu, our younger brother, currently serves as the Group Executive Director of BUA Group. In 2020, Kabiru was named the Best African Economic Leader under the age of 40 in the 100 African Economic Leaders for Tomorrow Awards by the French Institute, Chausseo. BUA invested $300 million in the 20,000 hectares Lafiaji Sugar Estate project, which comprises a sugar mill, sugar refinery, ethanol processing plant, and 35 megawatts power plant. The company also built an export-focused refinery in Port Harcourt, the only destination sugar refinery in sub-Saharan Africa. Abdul Samad Rabiu is constructing a 200,000 barrels per day petrochemicals refinery in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. The agreement was signed with Access of France in August 2020 for the refinery aimed at serving Nigeria and the West African petroleum refining needs. It is expected to be completed and operational by 2025. The privately owned Ogbela Cement Company was in January 2020 merged with the publicly listed Cement Company of Northern Nigeria, where Abdul Samad Rabiu already held a controlling stake in the $3.3 billion transaction, and BUA Cement PLC was born. Abdul Samad consolidated all his food businesses in sugar, edible oils, rice, flour, and pasta milling into a new company, BUA Foods PLC. In December 2021, it was listed on the Nigerian exchange. BUA Foods emerged as a consumer goods leader in market capitalization, experiencing a phenomenal 206% year-to-date appreciation. Share prices soared from 65 naira per share in December 2022 to the current value of 379.9 naira per share as at 24th March 2024. In terms of fundamentals, BUA Foods exhibited robust financials with a 54% increase in profits to 105.6 billion naira in the first 9 months of 2023. Revenue witnessed an impressive 80.95% year-on-year growth, reaching 524.428 billion naira, and return on average equity stood at 43.42%. Despite challenges, Rabiu strategically increased his direct shares in BUA Cement by 56.37%, totaling 96.12% ownership. This move, executed on June 26, 2023, demonstrates Rabiu's confidence in his company's future growth. Boa Foods PLC and Boa Cement PLC companies are among the top 10 most valuable publicly listed companies in sub-Saharan Africa. From a relatively small company in 1988, Boa Group has grown to a world-class conglomerate, contributing significantly to the country's GDP while providing employment opportunities for tens of thousands of Nigerians. Abdul Samad Rabiu's philanthropy is silently second to none. He founded the Abdul Samad Africa Initiative, ASR Africa, and an African-focused fund for social development and renewal which seeks to support Nigeria and other African countries in the area of health, education, and social development. In October 2022, Abdul Samad Rabiu, through ASR Africa, donated $500,000 to the United States Agency for International Development partner on tuberculosis control, HIV, and gender-based violence prevention efforts in Nigeria. Development of the 7.5 billion naira 200-bed specialist hospital in Kano State during the global COVID-19 pandemic. Abdul Samad Rabiu championed Nigeria's donation to this COVID-19 intervention by a single individual or corporate donating, amongst other things, 1.35 billion naira to the COVID private sector coalition, 300 million naira to the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, over 1 billion naira in cash donations to 10 state governments across the country, 70 ambulances, medical equipment, face masks, provision of foodstuffs for over 1.5 million persons in Kano, Lagos, and River States. ASR Africa Initiative donated a 4 billion naira police hospital in Abuja and donated 1 billion naira each for 6 universities across Nigeria through the ASR Africa Tertiary Education Grants Scheme for infrastructural development. The beneficiaries of the 6 billion naira tertiary education grant schemes are Ahmadu Bello University, University of Ibadan, University of Maiduguri, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, University of Ilorin, and the University of Benin. ASR Africa Initiative also donated 2.5 billion naira each through its tertiary healthcare development grants for health projects across 4 geopolitical zones in the country. These are in addition to 5 billion naira donated to build the first teaching hospital in Akwa Ibom State, donated 10 billion naira to the Security Support Fund of the Nigerian government. Abdul Samad Rabiu was awarded the 2022 CEO of the Year at the African CSR Awards, 2016 African Industrialist of the Year Awards by the All African Business Leader Awards, the 2022 Sun Man of the Year Awards, 2020 Vanguard Business Person of the Year, and the New Telegraph Philanthropist of the Year 2021, a recipient of several honorary doctorate degrees from various universities, including the University of Benin, Nasarawa State University, Sokoto State University, and Crescent University. Abdul Samad Rabiu is a fellow of the Institute of Directors, and he currently holds the prestigious Nigerian National Honors, Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, CFR, Commander of the Order of Niger, CON, as well as the highest civilian national honor in Niger Republic. Abdul Samad Rabiu is married with children. His children are Mustafa Khadija Kuki Rabiu, Ishaku Khalifa Rabiu, Junad Rabiu. On the 22nd of January 2024, Forbes estimated Rabiu's wealth at $5.9 billion, putting him as the 6th wealthiest man in Africa and 508th in the Global Billionaires Club. The family man, the silent achiever, the giver, Abdul Samad Rabiu.
My name is Yinka Babalola.
My name is Ijama Pelo Okoro.
My name is Joshua Hassan.
I am Rotarian Omosunde Lawson.
It's Ife Yonwarita Ejeze. My friends call me Ife.
My name is Rotarian Lola Dare.
I'm inviting you to keep watching SOUQ News. It's the right station to tune to.
I like SOUQ News. SOUQ News is good.
I want to charge you all to listen to SOUQ News, watch the news.
You can have unlimited news, first time.
Find SOUQ News. Be with SOUQ News. Never switch off. You are better for it. SOUQ News is the real thing.
Listen to their coverage, and you'll be glad you did.
Turn to your YouTube, turn to your Instagram, turn to all your digital channels and look for SOUQ News.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Please, guys, keep watching.
SOUQ News.
Well, thank you very much indeed. My name is Stephen Kola Balogun. I happen to be a lawyer, and should I call myself a pseudo-politician? Not quite a politician, but I've served in government before, and I'm delighted to be here. Well, thank you very much. Well, yes, is it my family or the wider family? I mean, like I said, I'm the son of Chief Dr. Kolawole Balogun of blessed memory. Like I said, he was a former politician, a frontline politician. He was the General Secretary of the National Council of Nigeria and the Cameroons, later National Council of Nigerian Citizens. He was the General Secretary of that party for about 8 years. From there, he was appointed by SOUQ to become a federal minister. He was initially a federal minister without portfolio. Consequently, after that, he became acting minister for labor and social services, and then he became Nigeria's first federal minister for information in 1956. He held that portfolio to 1958. Thereafter, he resigned from government. He had disagreement with the party. And Tafawa Balewa felt that he was a useful politician that could be sent to Ghana. And he went to Ghana to find out what was. Ghana was a bit ahead of us in terms of politics at the time. I think it's fair to say they got independence just before us. And Tafawa Balewa wanted someone to understudy to find out what we're doing. So he sent Kola Balogun there. Initially, he was commissioner. And later, when we gained independence in 1960, he became High Commissioner. Shortly after that, when we became independent, he yearned to come home. He wanted to take part in the new political atmosphere at the time. He asked the Prime Minister to relieve him, to let him come back, and he did come back home. And immediately, he took up the position of being chairman of the National Shipping Line. That was a position he held on to until the military struck in 1966. But even then, when the military did strike in 1966, he still continued. I think General Debayo of blessed memory invited him to join his cabinet, and he served as a commissioner for about 3 years or more. I think he was commissioner for health and was commissioner for education. Later, he also became chairman of the Sketch group of companies as well, and that was about it. I think after his stint in government, he decided to go and do a PhD at the University of Ibadan, and then he went back into private legal practice, and then he started this agitation for the creation of Osun State. He and a few others set up the movement. He was the chairman of the movement, and then to the glory of God in 1991, Osun State was created. And that's it.
Tell us about mommy.
Well, yes, my mother. Well, in those days, the women weren't not so much in the forefront, But my mother has been my bedrock. She stood by me, and she has backed me in most of the things I've set out to do, And she's still alive. She's 89 this year. And she's still doing well, and she's still
and your wife
going
and
strong.
The kids?
Yes, my children. Yes, I have 3 girls, 3 daughters. My oldest is 31. She studied at King's College London. She did reasonably well. She got a 7th class upper. Proud of her. She's an art curator today. They have twin girls as well who are also in university now that they haven't graduated yet. One of them is in Oxford University. She's studying history and politics. And the other is in Cambridge University. She's studying human, social, and political sciences. So, yeah. I did. I mean, my father, Chief Kolawole Balogun of blessed memory, yes, he was in the first cabinet in the First Republic, the first ever cabinet Nigeria had, and he served as the Federal Minister of Information and Research. As a matter of fact, he happened to be Nigeria's first information minister. Later, T.O.S. Benson, of course, became the independent Nigeria's first information minister, but independent Nigeria. But Nigeria's first ever information minister happened to be Chief Kolawole Balogun of blessed memory. No, I didn't. I took an opposite route from my father. My father went into politics straight immediately after he finished his education, and then he now ventured into law a little bit later. I decided to look at things differently. I thought that after academics I should practice law a bit, and that's what I've been doing. But at some point, I think that was in about 2011, I was called upon to serve in the Ocean State government as a commissioner, and I took up that opportunity, and I enjoyed myself. Well, I am in the sense that I'm 65 years old now, and I think it's fair to say that we belong to, well, I would say the first set, but one of those who benefited from Nigerian education. I schooled here. I went to secondary school in the West. I went to the University of Ife. Went to the Nigerian Law School. I think it's fair to say that all the schools at that time were of high quality, produced top quality students who went on to make names for themselves, not just here in Nigeria, but also abroad. I think we still do that now, even though the standard of education has dropped. The sad thing about it is that Nigeria could have been a lot better in terms of the potential, because Nigeria does have a lot of potential. We do have very brilliant young men and women, you know, and I just think that if we had invested more in education, that we could have, the sky would have been the limit, actually. Well, my take on this is that it's the system of law itself. As a young lawyer, I experienced a few challenges myself, and I think one of the obvious challenges is the appeal structure. It's too easy to appeal against judgments. At the same time, when you file actions in court, there are no penalties for costs. In other words, I can file a frivolous action. I could insult you, as an example, and then you could sue me. And I say to myself, well, I'm going to eke it out. I'm going to take it. You're going to have to take me all the way to the Supreme Court. That doesn't make sense. That's not fair. On the other hand, I could also file a frivolous application against you. And then filing a frivolous application, I could call you something you are not. I could defame you. And in so doing, you expect at least that once you prove your case, that I will be made to pay the penalties for filing frivolous applications. But that doesn't happen. And then, of course, the conditions of the judges. I mean, the judges are still writing longhand. They do trials, they sit there, they listen to witnesses, give evidence, and they have to write all these things down longhand. So there's so many challenges that has hampered the progress of law, and there hasn't been enough investment, I must say. Well, I agree with that, and I'm going to give an example as to how that I think we could possibly do that. Now, the Supreme Court hears everything. It's the final court in Nigeria. So they're going to hear issues related to criminal law, civil matters, constitutional matters, as you know, all these matters that's got to do with elections, so on and so forth. As a matter of fact, when we have an election cycle, the legal system slows down because the judges are hampered. They're too busy listening to the various appeals from the various states and the federal government to do with the elections. So as a consequence, the other matters to deal with shipping, banking, criminal law are put on the back burner. I think we need what you call a constitutional court, whereby which the judges in the Supreme Court are divided. So you have those judges whose responsibility it is entirely to deal with constitutional matters, and then you have another set whose duty will be to deal with shipping, banking, civil matters, criminal matters, and so on and so forth. So I believe it's high time Nigeria has a constitutional court to try and aid the Supreme Court with the workload they have, which is, quite frankly, quite a bit. Well, Nigerians, with respect, are very brilliant, very intelligent, and they are very aware. It doesn't matter who you are, whether you're a tailor, you're a driver, you're a lawyer, engineer, they are quite well informed. And the truth of the matter really is that this is the longest republic we've had. This republic started in 1999, and this is 2025, so 26 years. Nigeria's never had a republic this long. But the main flaw is the one you just mentioned. The fact that that constitution that was bequeathed to us by the military in 1999 was never really approved by the people. Now, that doesn't make sense, and that's unfair. In fairness, we ought to be able to look at the constitution, improve upon it, and put our own input into it. Now, there's a way around that, and I've always believed, many people oppose this, but I'm of the view that what Nigerians need to have is a referendum. Have a referendum to ask the Nigerian people whether they want to persist with the 1999 constitution, or do they want to drop a new one. If the answer to that question is yes, we want to drop a new constitution, then that puts paid to the 1999 constitution, and then you can now have a system, a constituent assembly, whatever the case may be, where people will sit around the table and fashion out a new constitution. If the people say no, that means they've indirectly approved the 1999 constitution, and then we continue with it. But what we can't do is continue having this debate, these arguments as to whether the 1999 constitution has been approved by Nigerians or not, because it has not been. So I think the way around that is to ask the Nigerian people through a referendum, asking them whether they want to persist with this constitution. If they say no, then we have a new one. If they say yes, we continue with the old one. And that ends the debate. Every system has its merits. Every system has its advantages and disadvantages. To some extent, the presidential system of government has an advantage. It has the advantage in the sense that it has brought government nearer to the people. So the people of Osun, from where I'm from, for instance, now, have their own state. Same thing can be said, it's been replicated across the country. However, the drawbacks, the disadvantage is the fact that it's extremely expensive. Now, look at Nigeria, for instance, now. We have 36 state governments. So that means we have 36 governments in Nigeria. If you add the government of Abuja, if you add the federal government, that's 38. Now, each one of these governments have some form of legislature, judiciary, an executive as well, local government, civil service. It's too expensive. Look, in America, where we borrowed this system from, the states came together to form a union. This is totally different. We are doing it the opposite way. So we've had a structure that we're now going back. So at the end of the day, many of the state governments are still dependent on the federal government. And as a consequence, the kind of progress we ought to be making, we're not quite making it. So I personally, and this is a personal view because others would disagree, I would prefer that we reduce the size of government by having some kind of regional structure. And I believe that that will reduce the burden of governments. And if we can reduce the burdens of government, we can use this money to do many other things. And I also think it will also improve standards as well. Not just standards of government or parliamentary standards or whatever the case may be, but there'll be less people involved in the political system. And that would help us a great deal. Well, I think it's fair to say that since 1999, we haven't had any new state creation. I know there's been agitation for the creation of states, but there hasn't been any. The process for creating a state is quite cumbersome. It's not easy. I think it's in Section 8 and 9 of the Constitution. I don't think it's something we should be looking at. I think, like I said to you earlier, I think we should be trying to reduce the number of states, and I think some kind of regional structure whereby which we can monitor better what's going on rather than having more states. So I personally would not encourage the creation of more states, no. In the 1950s, we had 3 regions, if I'm correct. Those regions were the West, the East, and the North. We had the colony of Lagos, but if I'm right, I think it was the MacPherson Constitution, I think it is, I'm not too sure, that now put Lagos under the Western region. Now, when Lagos was placed under the Western region, lots of people were not happy about that. I remember my father was in the NCNC. The NCNC people were not particularly pleased, neither were the NPC. So they felt that Lagos belonged to everybody. Like I said, lots of people from different walks of life, different tribes, different backgrounds, and all schooled. I mean, Zik schooled in Lagos. He went to MBHS. So it was the issue was sent to London to arbitrate. I think it was Oliver Littleton that arbitrated over the matter. And it was decided that Lagos should stand on its own, that Lagos should not be merged with any of the regions. And that was how Lagos was able to free itself from the shackles of the Western region. It's fair to say that the position of the NCNC was actually argued in London by my father. That's why I'm quite familiar with this. But talking about Lagos, when the military, after that, we had what you called a minister for Lagos. I think there was Ribadu, and I think there was one other person, but I think it was Yaradua, not the same Yaradua, but his father. And then later after that, when the military struck, they created the state of Lagos. So the issue of giving Lagos special status has more or less been taken over by events. Lagos is a state, and as a state, it's still home to different people with different backgrounds, from different tribes, and it's thriving. I think it's fair to say that Lagos is probably the most prosperous state in the country. And it's just a question of its continuing with good governance and improving the strides they have made. Once again, let's go back to the past. We had what we used to call the House of Chiefs, wasn't it? And in those House of Chiefs, many of the members of the House of Chiefs were people, were traditional rulers, chiefs from different backgrounds, and they had a say in the running of the affairs of state. It's like it was more or less akin to the House of Lords. So it wasn't necessarily the chamber whereby which the activities of day-to-day governance took place, but they could always refer issues to them. And I think that if we change our structure of governance, that's a big if, then yes, we can have something like that. We can have a second chamber, which is more or less advisory in nature, similar to the House of Lords, whereby which we will have obas and chiefs and people of influence who will be able to advise government from day to day from of the experiences and the way forward, but not necessarily binding. I think that's important. That decisions won't necessarily be binding on us, but at least they'll be able to share their views and experiences with the people. That's a big issue. I was commissioner for youth in Osun about 10 years ago under Rauf Aregbesola, and it was an issue we took quite seriously. In Osun State, we had quite a number of youths who were unemployed, and the governor thought, what can I possibly do to give them something to do, to keep them employed? So he created what we call the Osun State Youth Empowerment Scheme. Now, under the State Youth Empowerment Scheme, unemployed youths were given particular tasks in state. Help us sweep the roads. Some were part-time lecturers. Some were doing all sorts of things. They were given a stipend. It wasn't a full-blown salary. Or the salary, although the stipend was enough to keep them to be able to buy things, to be able to buy themselves drinks and food, and kept them occupied until they could find themselves a job. And I think the federal government could follow that kind of scheme, set up a youth empowerment scheme whereby which unemployed youths are given things to do. There's so many things that need to be done in Nigeria. There's so many gaps whereby which the youths can help do that. In the interim, while they find themselves something more gainful or something more permanent. So it's a question, it's for government to do. It's for government to think of a way of helping out the youths. And of course, there should be partnerships, a partnership between the government and private enterprise to try and encourage them to take on more of our youths, and not necessarily those who have schooled abroad, who they think are probably the best in terms of employment. No, we have many here who can do a good job as well. Sustaining democracy is about discipline. It's about the people being disciplined. It's about those who rule us being disciplined. I started out by telling you that this is the longest government we've had. It's the longest republic we've had. We've had democracy now since 1999, 26 years. If you go back to the days of independence, there's been no republic that has been this long. So it shows that the people have embraced democracy. They've come to it's part of us now. They've come to enjoy it. Yes, there are hiccups in terms of the fact that we could do a lot better in terms of how we implement things. But in terms of the people yearning for democracy and imbibing it, I think we've done very well. And what we just need to do is just to try and perfect it. One of the ways, like I said much earlier, is to perhaps take a second look at the Constitution, see where areas where we can improve, and try and make people happy, and at the same time reduce the cost of governance. But I don't think democracy is going anywhere. I think it's here to stay.
My name is Yinka Babalola.
My name is Ijoma Pelo Koro.
My name is Joshua Hassan.
I am Rotarian or Mosunde Lawson.
It's Ife Rita Ejeze. My friends call me Ife.
My name is Rotarian Lola Dare.
I'm inviting you to keep watching SOUQ News. It's the right station to tune to.
I like SOUQ News. SOUQ News is good.
I want to charge you all to listen to SOUQ News, watch the news.
You can have unlimited news first time.
Find SOUQ News. Be with SOUQ News. Never switch off. You are better for it. SOUQ News is the real thing.
Listen to their coverage and you'll be glad you did.
Turn to your YouTube, turn to your Instagram, turn to all your digital channels and look for SOUQ News.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Please, guys, keep watching
SOUQ News.
Once upon a time, the Sahara was not a desert. It was green, alive, thriving. Today, it stands as one of the harshest environments on Earth. What happened? And more importantly, what does Africa's past teach us about its future? Rising above Egypt's desert plain is the Gulf El Kabir Plateau, a vast, uninhabited wilderness. Yet hidden within its rocks are paintings of people swimming, hunting, and dancing. These are not myths. They are evidence of a different Africa, one that once had rivers, lakes, and abundant wildlife. Thousands of years ago, the Sahara was a fertile savanna. Elephants, giraffes, and buffaloes roamed freely. Humans lived, farmed, and thrived. But then something happened. Around 7,000 years ago, shifting climate patterns pushed rainfall southward. The land dried. Rivers disappeared. By 6,000 years ago, much of the Sahara had become uninhabitable. Communities were forced to migrate, many moving towards one lifeline, the Nile. Migration driven by climate transformation, and so began one of the most important patterns in African history: adaptation under pressure. The Nile Valley became a narrow but powerful economic corridor, supporting agriculture, population growth, and eventually one of the world's most earliest civilizations. This shift reveals a fundamental truth about Africa. Its fortunes have always been shaped by the environment, resources, and human response. Fast forward to today, Africa is once again facing environmental and economic pressure, climate change, urban migration, and resource competition. But history offers perspectives. Just like ancient communities moved towards opportunity, today youths are moving towards cities, technology, and new economic frontiers. The lesson is clear. Africa's story is not just one of challenge. It is a story of adaptation and reinvention. From climate shift to economic transition, the continent has always responded, not passively, but creatively. The question now is, will today's leaders and young innovators rise to the movement? Because if history tells us anything, it is that Africa's future will be shaped not just by what happens to it, but by how it responds. Take a look at this. This is the Sahara today, and here is the Nile corridor where populations converge. In a land surrounded by desert, a single river gave rise to power, wealth, and one of the earliest states in history. This is ancient Egypt, Africa's first great economic and political system. Ancient Egyptians called their land Kemet, the Black Land, a reference to the fertile soils of the Nile floods plain. Beyond it lay the Desert, the Red Land, the desert stretching east and west, and the Nile itself, they simply called it the river, a narrow strip of life in a vast, unforgiving landscape. To outsiders, Egypt's dependence on the Nile was unmistakable. The Greek historians Herodotus described this as the gift of the Nile. Without the river, there was no agriculture, no surplus, no state. At the center of the system was the ruler, the pharaoh, a term derived from pharaoh, meaning great house, referring to royal palace. This was not just leadership, it was structured authority tied to land, production and control. One of the earliest organized system of governance on the African continent. Even the name Egypt tells a story of interaction. Later, Arab rulers would call it Masra, a civilization shaped internally but named and reinterpreted by outsiders over time. What made Egypt powerful was not just the presence of the Nile, but the ability to organize around it. Seasonal floods meant predictable agriculture, food production, population stability. From this game structure, labor systems, and long-term planning, the lesson is not about the river. It is about control, coordination, and the use of resources. Across Africa today, resources are abundant, but outcomes depend on how they are managed. Because from the very beginning, Africa's story has never just been about what it has, but what it does with it. Here's the Nile Corridor, the narrow stretch of fertile land surrounded by desert where this civilization took shape.
Hello Nigeria, hello Africa. Yeah, this is Sound Man. Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Babalola from Excel LED. Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoy you all to always watch SOUQ News TV.
Hi, I'm Tom Boggables, and please keep watching SOUQ News.
Wale Seriki, SLG Lagos Island East, SOUQ News. Keep out watching them and keep a lookout for them. They're up and coming, and we're proudly to be affiliated with them.
You alone where they make me go crazy. This your love in the cool of my brain. You're my medicine, I need you all day. Yo, it's Blackface Nigeria and you're watching SOUQ News TV. Keep it locked on this dial, don't change it. You know what I say? Blackface Nigeria, love no bad.
We've got just what you need right here at Femi Wash Media. Call it the Midas Touch, and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix, and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
Human ingenuity has birthed remarkable innovations, none more so than the rise of intelligent machines. Computers, once small calculators, have evolved into sophisticated systems capable of mimicking human thought processes. Powered by artificial intelligence, AI, these systems are learning, problem-solving, and making decisions that were once exclusive domain of humans. From accelerating scientific discovery to tackling climate change, AI's potential is vast. But perhaps its most profound impact lies in healthcare. Artificial intelligence, AI, it's no longer a futuristic concept. It's here with the potential to revolutionize patient care, diagnosis, and treatment. AI is emerging as a powerful tool in the hands of medical professionals. From detecting diseases early to optimizing treatment plans, AI is demonstrating remarkable capabilities. It can analyze vast amounts of medical data to identify patterns and predict outcomes, aiding in more accurate diagnosis. Also, AI-powered robots are assisting in surgeries, improving precision, and reducing recovery times. However, despite its promises, challenges persist. Concerns about data privacy, ethical implications, and the need for robust regulatory frameworks are hindering widespread AI adoption. To fully unlock AI's potential in healthcare, collaborative efforts are essential. Healthcare providers, researchers, policymakers, and technology companies must work together to develop and implement AI solutions responsibly. By addressing ethical concerns, investing in AI research, and creating supportive regulatory environments, we can accelerate the integration of AI into healthcare and improve patient outcomes. Joy Chuma, SOUQ News.
Today is an important day in the lives of every woman all over the world.
celebration of International Women's Day is really quite welcome because a lot of women have made immense contributions to the human society, and they must be commended and encouraged, and they should be given access to quality education, health facilities, food, and so many other wonderful things to make life easier for them and for their children, because they are the actual ones that the lives of our children revolve around. Must make life comfortable for every woman, and we should remember the efforts and sacrifices made by leaders who have fought over the years for gender equality. Gender equality we have heard so much about. It's been preached in every nook and corner of the world. But is it actually taking effect in the lives of our people? Quality of life. Where do we start from? One always wonders whether women are receiving the kind of quality of life that we deserve. Young women are still being treated as slaves in different parts of the world. Perhaps we don't consider them the category of women when you think of young girls and young women who have been used as slaves in different homes as housemaids, but they also deserve to be given good quality of life. Some young girls are still being pushed around, and people still consider them not to be equal to members of their gender, even in the homes where they live and work very hard to maintain. So we pray that as women celebrate today, as we all come together to celebrate Women's Day, we should be aware that we also have to make our own contributions. Women also have to play their own role in improving the quality of life of people that are being put in our care, so that life will be made easier for everyone. You expect other young children to take care of your own children, and yet you don't really believe that they deserve good quality of life. So it is with this that we all want to speak to ourselves directly, whether we are actually playing our own role, even as women. Do we really believe in gender equality? If so, how do we put it into practice? What have we done to help our fellow human beings to achieve their goals in life? Some people still believe that young girls should be at the rung of the ladder. So we must remember that those who have made their marks in the different fields in the past are those that were given the opportunity. So please let us find within ourselves, deep in our hearts, the roles that we ourselves have played. If we have reached the top of the ladder, do we kick that ladder off so that others don't climb and get to the same level with us? To embrace honesty and integrity, we must do something. And this is the day that has been set aside for all women all over the world, whether you are in Nigeria or in Ghana or in China. We should really continue to play our own role. Many singers have made songs about women being top of the ladder or in different areas as teachers and doctors. But it's very difficult for a woman to compose a song about a woman getting there. It's only men. If we go back into the records, you will discover that it's only men. And I can mention one or two of the names without promoting the music of the bands or whoever it is that have done their own little bits. It's men that sing the praises of women. Women hardly sing the praises of one another. There's hardly anywhere, except at Christmas, of course, when it's a universal and a religious thing that everyone should sing the praise of the child that is born at that time by a woman. So that is the best time that you hear a woman sing about, the progress that should be made by women, the encouragement that they should be given. So let us play our own role in our own little corner and make sure that life gets better and better. Year in, year out. We shall come back again to celebrate this time again next year. Happy International Women's Day.
My name is Ali Young. I'm with the Gamehers, which is a social media tech platform for women in video games. And we're here in Nigeria today. Glad to be here. People are just absolutely lovely. The food is fantastic, and looking forward to getting out of the hotel and conference and seeing much more. For me, I'm a gamer. I met my husband playing video games 20 years ago, and it actually is something that has been part of my lifestyle. Family time is spent with my daughter and my husband playing video games. We've met online friends in person, gone on vacations with them. They were part of our wedding. It's really been just an amazing connection point and social point for us. And so when I had the opportunity to work with the Gamehers, it really became home to me, right? Because it's with people who are very like-minded and an amazing community. Yes, so the Gamehers, social media tech platform for women in the video game industry, creators, game devs, entrepreneurs. And for us, we are a safe space where people can connect. Something that you and I spoke about earlier around, playing video games and feeling the pressure to be good at it and wanting to, and kind of the toxicity around the online culture a little bit. Because it is a little bit male-dominated, right? And I feel like the Gamehers was built around that. In fact, I remember the very first gaming conference that I went to, and literally it was a room that had about 200 people, and there were 3 women, including myself. And I thought, we have to do better, right? I mean, I play video games. I have friends that play video games who are women, and I feel like it's extremely important for us to spread that message that it is okay to play video games as a female. Additionally, Gen A, Gen Z, 98% of the younger generations are playing video games now, right? They don't identify as gamers like people who go to movies don't identify as movieists, right? And so it's just a part of their life. And what's interesting is that even though there are 3.2 billion gamers globally, and half of those are women, we're still underrepresented in the professional esports world, in game development, and leadership positions. So it was New Year's Eve, and I had busted my knee. I was living in Colorado. I busted my knee skiing. And so there I was at home for the very first time doing nothing on New Year's Eve. And I thought to myself, maybe I'll go check out this game, right? And so I jumped on this video game and had my knee propped up, having a drink and just relaxing. And I see online a chat that there was this giveaway for an online New Year's Eve party. And I thought to myself, this is the lamest thing I have ever seen in my life. I will never share this story out loud. And I went to this online New Year's Eve party where they were giving away free stuff and in-game free stuff, right? And so I'm in there, and it was player versus player games, so people could attack each other and kill each other in the game. And so as I was standing there, this guy jumped this other guy, slayed him in the game, and the dead player dropped gear, and you could rename it. And so this guy picks up the gear like a serial killer, brands it so-and-so's baldric, and I thought it was hilarious, and that was my husband, now husband. So he's not a serial killer though, so that's good. I'll share this with you. So the game HERS, since its inception in 2020, we created a platform where we celebrate women through the Game HERS Awards. And we had it had been virtual through COVID, and we had our first live Game HERS Awards in Atlanta in March 1 to kick off Women's History Month. And we had a room full of 300 people, women and their allies, where we celebrated their contributions to other women in gaming and inclusivity. And it was incredible to just see people who haven't met in person. I mean, if you think about how you work with people now and remote life is so prevalent, I mean, you think about how you meet people online now anyway, right? And then when you meet them in person, that relationship just escalates and just gets even better. And so the Game HERS provides that space to be able to do that, right? We have an online community. We provide opportunities to meet in person through a lot of different events. Much like Dunhill Ventures brings together, they bring together family offices and investors to connect and create networks and create relationships. That's what the Game HERS does. Video games has become the new media. I mean, when you look at live streaming, you look at content creation, there's such a big piece of that's entertainment. And as a person who plays video games, you get to do both, right? I mean, if you go to a restaurant now or a bar, you see concepts where there's axe throwing, there's things you can do, play golf, right? Like the video gaming is just a lifestyle piece of that. I think that it's just become normalized. I mean, my daughter's generation, she's 17. She's been playing video games since she was 2. Right, and whether that's learning video games and educational video games, or it's Call of Duty. I mean, she plays them all, and she tries them. A lot of times, it's her friend group. Her friends like to play video games as well, and so they do that together. Sometimes in person, with their computers next to each other, or on consoles, and sometimes that's just online. So I think we all play games. I mean, if you played soccer when you were younger, or football, right? If you played basketball or sports, we compete all the time, right? Leaderboards, points, things like that. I mean, everything is a game. And so I think that the Game HERS provides a place where women who play video games can connect, and that's the beauty of it. So I was actually in Riyadh when I met the Dunhill Ventures group, and they invited us to come out to Lagos. It was an opportunity. I was supposed to be at South by Southwest this week, and ended up canceling all my travel plans. Told the team, I was like, I am gonna stay in Riyadh for a couple of days and then go straight to Lagos, because the opportunity here is vast. The demographics in this region and in Africa has the youngest, the youngest demographics. Gen A, Gen Z's, 98% are gamers, and so the population is intrinsically part of our group. However, organically, our international 10% of our international community is in Nigeria. And that has just been organic. We haven't done any programming here. We haven't done any events. It's just people finding us online and connecting with our team, with our community. So we are the Gamehers. That's TheGamehers. On all socials and thegamehers.com. Please download our app. It's tgh.app, and it can be downloaded on Apple, Google, and we're also on desktop as well. And connect with us. Our community, surprisingly, well, not surprisingly, is very inclusive. While we focus on women and we are femme-based, we do have non-binaries and femme-identifying peoples, and also our allies who are men and male. So you stand to gain an amazing community of like-minded people. Find your tribe, find people to play games with, find people to learn from, as well as opportunities for education, on career development, and entrepreneurship. Absolutely. So we partner with a lot of game developers. We are not a game developer, but we provide opportunities for women in game development, as well as Riot Games is one of our early investors and a big partner. Also, I play a lot of their games too. It's a big perk to get in the alpha stages and get to try out different games. But we have opportunities for women to even, our Discord channel, for example, has game nights, right? Where women get to try out different games, whether that's a mobile game or even a party game from Jackbox Games. You know, there are different things that we use to connect and leverage through video games. I see there's a lot of there had been. I feel like it's starting to shift the other way. There had been, you hear stories about gamers who play too much, and I think I read a story about someone who played too long and died of seizures. I mean, that's probably the extreme, right? And let's be transparent and talk about it, because I think that as a parent myself, balance is everything. But however, in order to get good at anything, I mean, you have to spend the 10,000 hours, right? And so I actually told my daughter that I wanted her to play at least 2 hours a day because, I mean, to me, if you're actually going to get good, then why would you limit yourself, right? But you have to do it in a healthy manner. You have to take breaks, you have to stretch, you have to eat, you have to do all these things and keep your health going. I mean, just like in any sport. Gaming has been shown to teach our children and to teach ourselves mental acuity, hand-eye coordination, problem solving, which I feel doesn't happen enough. But gamers have to learn how to lose, which is also something that doesn't happen enough. And also the grit to keep going, right? And so I think there are a lot of very good benefits to gaming, just as well as negative things, just as well as anything else. We are very focused this year on our international growth, and this is part of it. If you're connecting with us, join our community, get to know the people and connect with the people first, and then find affinities to the different games that you want to play. There's so many different kinds of games. There's a game for everyone.
In the heart of West Africa, where the Atlantic Ocean meets vibrant coastlines and cultural richness, lies a country that has long served as a bridge between tradition and modernity. Welcome to the Republic of Senegal. From its diverse languages to distinct cuisines and colorful attire, Senegal mirrors the broader identity of West Africa, a region shaped by history, resilience, and remarkable diversity. But among its neighbors, Senegal stands apart in a unique way. Since gaining independence from France in 1960, it has never experienced a military coup, a rarity in the region and a testament to its stable democratic legacy. Its capital, Dakar, hugs the coastline and is home to nearly a third of the country's population, around 5 million people. Though over 90% of Senegalese identify as Muslim, the nation's first president, Léopold Sédar Senghor, was a Catholic, a poet and philosopher. Senghor played a pivotal role in post-colonial West Africa, founding the Federal Assembly after France's withdrawal. French remains the official language, a legacy of colonization, but it's Wolof, the voice of the streets, that rings loudest in the markets, homes, and music of Senegal. Economically, Senegal thrives on two pillars: peanuts and fish, with nearly 40% of its arable land dedicated to peanut cultivation and its strategic coastal location fueling a robust fishing industry. Agriculture and maritime life shape much of its economy and daily rhythms. Senegal's culinary culture is just as iconic, from fiebondien, the beloved rice and fish dish, to the zesty yassa of marinated chicken or fish flavor tells a story. And in between meals, locals sip on national drinks made from natural sources like boye, the sweet nectar from the baobab fruit. Wander the streets and you will likely spot sheep and goats roaming freely, not as strays, but as symbols. During the Muslim festival at Tabaski, male sheep are offered as spiritual sacrifices, a deeply rooted tradition tied in faith and family. While football reigns across the continent in Senegal, a traditional form of wrestling called lamb shares the spotlight, and sometimes steals it. Considered a national sport, lamb draws crowds of over 70,000 during major bouts, with a mix of athleticism, rituals, and roaring support from devoted fans. But Senegal's legacy runs deeper than sport or tradition. It is home to some of Africa's most symbolic landmarks. The Great Mosque of Touba, the largest in Africa, towers over the faithful. The Africa Renaissance Monument in Dakar stands at 49 meters high, Africa's tallest statue. And on Gorée Island, history echoes through the door of no return, the final passage for enslaved Africans during the transatlantic slave trade. Senegal is proudly home to 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. From Goré's sorrowful legacy to the rich biodiversity of Djoudj Bird Sanctuary and Niokolo Koba National Park, from the colonial charm of St. Louis Island to the cultural landscapes of Bassari Country, and from the unique Salom Delta to the ancient stone circles of Senegambia, the land is a living museum. Add to that the dazzling pink lake, whose waters shimmer rose-hued during the dry season, and Dakar's revered surfing coastline, and it becomes clear Senegal is a country of rhythm, resilience, and unmatched beauty. This is Senegal, the doorway to West Africa, where culture, history, and spirit converge to welcome the world. Chiki Okolo, SOUQ News TV.
Hello Lagos, make we yarn.
Hello, boy, this POS matter don't pass joke. Person go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait oh, wetin really happen?
They use fake alert, the warriors.
Okay, so wanna listen to If you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
They don't want Gava Road.
Egypt is a living museum where the past and present come together in a remarkable dance, and it is more than simply a nation. Egypt, which is well known around the world for its pyramids, pharaohs, and the magnificent Nile, is still transforming its rich historical legacy into a vital source of economic expansion and pride in the country. Egypt is a vibrant African country that is leveraging its historical heritage, tourism, the Suez Canal, agriculture, and a growing digital economy to drive its future. Let's start with tourism, which continues to be Egypt's most valuable economic driver. Egypt is home to more than 1/3 of the world's antiquities, and Cairo, Luxor, Aswan, and Alexandria welcome millions of visitors each year. Beyond its aesthetic value, the Great Pyramids of Giza, the Valley of Kings, and the soon-to-open Grand Egyptian Museum serve as economic hubs that support employment, foreign exchange, and Egypt's place on the world cultural map. Egypt has recovered quickly despite international disturbances like the COVID-19 epidemic, with current tourism receipts surpassing $13 billion. However, as visitors all at history, international trade passes via Egypt's Suez Canal, one of the most important sea lanes in the world. The canal is a vital bypass for international commerce, connecting the Mediterranean Sea to the Red Sea across a distance of 193 kilometers. Suez Canal tolls brings in billions of dollars for Egypt each year, more than $9 billion in 2023 alone, making the canal more than simply a historical site. It is a vital component of international trade. The Suez Canal Economic Zone, a center for commerce, logistics, and industry, was likewise fueled by the canal. Agriculture comes next, especially near the Nile. Important products including wheat, rice, cotton, and dates are grown in the lush Nile Valley and Delta. Citrus fruits, particularly oranges, which are highly sought after in Europe and the Middle East, are among Egypt's biggest exports worldwide. Innovations in irrigation and climate-smart farming are growing, and agriculture still contributes to national food security and rural lives. Infrastructure and energy are also changing quickly. By exporting liquefied natural gas to Europe and other countries, Egypt has established itself as a new energy center in Africa and the Mediterranean. This change includes the Zohr gas field, one of the biggest in the Mediterranean. In addition, Egypt is developing smart cities, high-speed rail, and new administrative capitals, while investing in solar energy through initiatives like the Bendon Solar Park, Africa's largest. Not to be overlooked is Egypt's creative economy. The film industry in Cairo is sometimes referred to as the Hollywood of the Arab world, and pop culture in North Africa and the Middle East has long been influenced by the Egyptian literature, music, and television. Young Egyptian creatives are already establishing new industries, such as tech companies and fashion. Thanks to the growth of social media and digital storytelling, Egypt has geopolitical weight due to the advantageous location at the intersection of Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. Its position as a continental power is further supported by its participation in peacekeeping missions. Commercial agreements such as COMESCA and the African Continental Free Commercial Area AFCFTA, and regional diplomacy. However, the way Egypt skillfully combines innovation with tradition is what really makes it stand out. It is one of the few African countries where a more than 5,000-year-old civilization still shapes its economy and reputation outside. Egypt continues to leverage its history to forge a strong and aspirational future, whether it's a software entrepreneur in Cairo, a relic in a museum, or a ship across the Suez. This is Just Africa, and I am Chike Okolo.
Africa is a continent of different individuals, tribes, languages, and even destinies. Every African country is unique in its own way, with something that sets it apart from the others. Today, on the uniqueness of Africa, we take a look at Chad. Chad, located in north-central Africa, is a land of extremes and quiet resilience. What makes Chad truly unique is its extraordinary geographical and ecological contrast. Stretching from the harsh Sahara Desert in the north to fertile savannas and wetlands in the south. One of its most remarkable features is Lake Chad, once one of Africa's largest freshwater lakes. Though it has shrunk dramatically over the decades due to climate change and overuse, it remains a vital lifeline for over 30 million people across Chad, Nigeria, Niger, and Cameroon. But Chad's uniqueness goes even deeper. It is one of the most linguistically diverse countries in Africa, with over 120 local languages spoken, despite a relatively small population. French and Arabic are the official languages, but the diversity reflects its deep ethnic and cultural complexity. Chad is also home to Zakuma National Park, a conservation success story in Central Africa. Once plagued by poaching, the park has rebounded and is now a sanctuary for elephants, lions, giraffes, and rare birds, showcasing the country's ecological richness. In the Enedi Plateau in northeastern Chad lies another treasure, a UNESCO World Heritage Site filled with ancient rock formations and prehistoric cave art, some dating back 7,000 years. These natural cathedrals in the desert tell stories of early human life long before modern civilization reached the region. In terms of identity, Chad is where Arab and Black African cultures blend, creating a unique socio-cultural fusion seen in its clothing, cuisine, languages, and traditions. Despite economic challenges and regional instability, Chad remains a country of untapped beauty, resilience, and cultural depth. It is a land where survival meets strength and where the desert holds not just sand, but stories. This is the uniqueness of Africa, and today we spotlight Chad, the bridge between the desert and diversity. I am Moyosore Adebi for SOUQ News TV. Guinea-Bissau, a small coastal nation in West Africa, often escapes the spotlight due to its size and political instability. However, this nation possesses a wealth of cultural, ecological, and social uniqueness that sets it apart from many of its African peers. From matriarchal communities to remarkable biodiversity, Guinea-Bissau offers a compelling study in African distinctiveness. With a population of just over 2 million, Guinea-Bissau is home to more than 20 ethnic groups, each contributing unique languages, customs, and traditional practices to the national identity. The country's linguistic diversity is further enriched by the widespread use of Guinea-Bissau Creole, a Portuguese-based Creole language that serves as a unifying medium of communication across different communities. Formerly part of the Cabo Empire and later a Portuguese colony, Guinea-Bissau was among the first African countries to engage in a protracted armed struggle for independence, led by the African Party for the Independence of Guinea and Cape Verde under the revolutionary Amilcar Cabral. Its bold resistance and eventual liberation in 1973 set a precedent for anti-colonial movements across the continent. The country remains one of the few Lusophone nations in Africa, sharing strong cultural and diplomatic ties with Brazil, Portugal, and other Portuguese-speaking countries, forming a distinct Lusophone African identity. Guinea-Bissau's biodiversity is another defining characteristic, particularly the Bijagos Archipelago, a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve consisting of more than 80 islands. This ecological haven is not only vital for marine conservation, but also embodies a unique matriarchal culture where women play central roles in community leadership and spiritual practices. The islands are recognized globally for their rich marine life, including sea turtles, manatees, and migratory birds, attracting researchers and conservationists from around the world. Economically, Guinea-Bissau is highly reliant on cashew nut production, which forms the backbone of its export economy. Despite recurring political instability and limited infrastructure, the country remains an important agricultural hub with untapped potential in fisheries, tourism, and sustainable development. Its geographic position along the Atlantic and proximity to other West African nations also offers opportunities for regional trade and integration. Guinea-Bissau's resilience in the face of persistent challenges, ranging from coups and weak governance to poverty and illicit trade, continues to shape its unique narrative within Africa. It is a nation marked by endurance, cultural vibrancy, and natural beauty, striving to transform its rich heritage and strategic assets into sustainable growth and global engagement. I'm Moyosore Adebi for SOUQ News TV. The journey of exploring Africa's uniqueness and spotlighting the continent's powerful stories and promises remains in our heart. And today we unfold one of that story that shapes Africa's soul. Central African Republic, otherwise known as CAR, is the heart of the continent, a land rich in natural wealth, yet often misunderstood. Bounded by 6 neighbors and situated in the very center of Africa, the Central African Republic is landlocked, but far from landlocked in spirit. It is a country of vast green savannas, dense tropical forest, rich wildlife, and river systems that feed both its land and identity. From the Ubangi River in the south to the fringes of the Saharan zone in the north, the CAR holds some of the continent's most ecologically vital and untouched terrain. But beyond the land lies the story of its people, diverse, resilient, and culturally vibrant. The Central African Republic is home to more than 80 ethnic groups, including the Baya, Banda, Mangia, and Sara, each with its own language, dance, craftsmanship, and oral traditions that have been passed down for centuries. Despite a history marked by conflict and political fragility, the spirit of community and cultural pride runs deep. At the heart of CAR's economy is natural wealth. Gold, diamonds, timber, and uranium lie beneath its soil. However, the paradox of abundance is real. These riches have not always translated into broad-based development. Yet, across towns like Bangui, Bosangoa, and Braya, local farmers, traders, and artisans continue to drive informal economies, even as international organizations work alongside the government to rebuild systems and structures. Hope also beats through the arts. CAR's vibrant music and storytelling traditions are rich with wisdom and resistance. From traditional percussion ensembles to modern gospel and Afrobeat, Central Africans use rhythm and voice not only to entertain, but to educate, heal, and unify. The Sanga Trinational Forest, a UNESCO World Heritage Site shared with Congo and Cameroon, is one of the last strongholds of forest elephants and lowland gorillas, a reminder of CAR's role in and Africa's environmental balance. Conservation efforts led by local communities are emerging as models for inclusive sustainability. Of course, the Central African Republic still wrestles with serious challenges, including instability, infrastructure gaps, and displaced communities. But across these trials, a quiet resurgence is unfolding. Investments in education, local peace building, women's cooperatives, and agro-processing industries are gradually reshaping narratives from one of crisis to one of courage and capacity. To know the Central African Republic is to understand that even in the most tested territories, Africa's heart continues to beat, strong, steady, and full of promise. This is the uniqueness of Africa. I am Moyosore Adebi for SOUQ News TV.
Skincare from the inside out. Because beautiful skin isn't just about what you put on, it's about how you care for your whole body. Hello, my name is Emmanuel Olise, and this is SOUQ Health Tips. Let's talk about something that is seen every day in the clinic. People investing in expensive skincare products but overlooking one major factor: internal health. The truth is, your skin reflects what's going on inside your body. As a medical personnel, I can tell you that achieving clear, radiant skin starts far beneath the surface. Number one, nutrition matters more than you think. Your skin is your largest organ, and like every organ, it needs the right nutrients to thrive. Eat foods rich in antioxidants like berries, spinach, and green tea to help fight free radical damage. Include omega-3 fatty acids from fish and walnuts to reduce inflammation and keep your skin barrier strong. Limit refined sugars and processed foods, which can trigger acne and accelerate aging through a process called glycation. 2. Hydration is skin deep. When your body is dehydrated, your skin looks dull, dry, and tired. Drink at least 2 to 3 liters of water daily and eat hydrating foods like cucumbers, oranges, and watermelon. Pro tips: if your lips are constantly dry or your inner under eyes are creased, it may be a hydration issue, not just a skincare one. 3. Prioritize quality sleep. While you sleep, your skin goes into repair mode, producing collagen, regenerating cells, and balancing oil levels. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of uninterrupted sleep. Poor sleep increases cortisol level, which can lead to breakouts, sensitivity, and early aging. 4. Watch your stress levels. High stress equals to high cortisol. Cortisol triggers oil production, inflammation, and skin flare-ups like acne, eczema, and psoriasis. Practice daily stress relief breathing exercises. Short walks, journaling, or digital detoxes can all help calm both mind and skin. 5. Support your gut health, because the gut-skin connection is real. An unhealthy gut can lead to inflammation that shows up on your skin as acne or dullness. Add probiotics, You get your probiotics from your yogurt or supplements, and probiotics from garlic, onions, and oats to nourish your microbiome. Bonus, skincare products still matter, but they work best on a healthy foundation. Yes, your cleansers, moisturizers, and SPF are important, but they can't fix what poor diet, dehydration, or stress are damaging from the inside. In summary, if you want healthy, glowing skin, treat it like a system, not just a surface. Nourish your body, sleep well, stay hydrated, manage your stress, and then invest in a good skincare routine. Beautiful skin is a lifestyle, not just a product. I'm Emmanuel Elise, and this is SOUQ Health Tips. Remember, your skin listens to everything your body tells it. So let's speak health from the inside out.
Wole Soyinka, born Akiwande Oluwole Babatunde Soyinka on July 13, 1934, in Abeokuta, Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, stands as one of Africa's most celebrated literary figures and a global icon of resistance against oppression. His life and works reflect an unwavering commitment to justice, culture, and the transformative power of arts. Soyinka was born into a Yoruba family in colonial Nigeria, an environment that exposed him to both traditional African culture and Western education. His father, Samuel Ayodele Soyinka, was a school headmaster, while his mother, Grace Eniola Soyinka, was a devoted Anglican. This blend of indigenous and colonial influences deeply shaped Soyinka's world. Soyinka attended Government College Ibadan and later proceeded to the University College Ibadan, where he studied English and literature. Soyinka completed his education at the University of Leeds in England, earning a degree in English and later a doctorate degree. In the late 1950s, Soyinka began working as a dramaturgist at the Royal Court Theatre in London. However, his passion for storytelling and cultural preservation drew him back to Nigeria, where he founded two theatre groups known as the 1960 Masque and the Orisun Theatre Company. Soyinka's works, often a fusion of Western dramatic techniques and African themes, address universal issues of justice, freedom, and human dignity. His early play, titled A Dance of the Forest, which was introduced in 1960, written to celebrate Nigeria's independence, critically examined the nation's socio-political trajectory, setting the tone for his career as both artist and activist. Soyinka's activism became more visible during Nigeria's post-independence years. In 1967, during the Nigerian Civil War, he called for a ceasefire between federal forces and Biafran separatists. This led to his arrest by the military government, and he spent 22 months in prison, where he wrote a short drama titled The Man Died, Prison Notes, a harrowing account of his imprisonment and a profound critique of authoritarianism. Soyinka has authored more than 20 works, including plays, novels, poetry, and essays. In 1986, Soyinka became the first African to win the Nobel Prize of Literature, an achievement that brought global recognition to African literature. Soyinka remained an outspoken critic of oppressive regimes, often at great personal risk. His activism extended beyond Nigeria, addressing global issues of injustice and human rights. During periods of military rule in Nigeria, he went into exile, continuing to write and speak against tyranny. Today, Soyinka is celebrated not only as a literary giant, but also as a symbol of resilience and moral courage.
You've been in Nigeria for how long now?
Only a week and a half, yeah.
And the first place you birthday was here in Nigeria, in Lagos?
Yeah, Idiroko.
Idiroko?
Yeah, that's where we changed it. Yeah.
So you started Idiroko and then you're here now?
Yeah, we came to Lagos. We were supposed to visit for one day, but the people were too friendly, so it's impossible to leave.
So, I know there's no, how did you move the van? Did you get the van here in Africa?
Yeah,
Ferries. We got two ferries. One ferry from England to France,
Okay.
and another from Spain to Morocco.
Oh,
Yeah.
So the van was.
Welcome to Morocco and a brief tour around the London.
Yeah.
So I was saying, like, and his password just get you to it.
Skincare from the inside.
You've been in Nigeria for how long now?
Only a week and a half, yeah.
And the first place you birthday was here in Nigeria, in Lagos?
Yeah, Idiroko.
Idiroko?
Yeah, that's where we changed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started in Idiroko and then you're here now?
Yeah, we came to Lagos. We were supposed to visit for one day, but the people were too friendly, so it was impossible to leave.
Where's my home?
So I know there's no. How did you move the van? Did you get the van here in Africa?
Yeah,
Ferries. We got two ferries. One ferry from England to France,
Okay.
and another from Spain to Morocco.
Oh,
Yeah.
So the van was.
Welcome to Morocco and a brief tour around the London.
Yeah.
So I was saying, like, and his password just get you to it.
No, we wish it was that simple, but there's a lot of bureaucracy. At the best, we both have to make an expensive application, upload loads of documents, show them maps, try and prove that we're not going to leave the vehicle there, convince them that our story and plan is real, and then we get a visa. But sometimes they never reply to one of Kaya's applications. So we could either wait forever, which is we never make it if you wait forever, or you could take action. And Kiara flew over, and I did it myself. But the whole point of this trip is we do it together. We're a team, and everything's so much harder if you try and do it alone. So we need each other, not just for. Definitely. I would recommend it to others as well. Yeah, like Lagos is still in our hearts a little bit because we don't have another base, we don't have another home. So when we're traveling, we are always thinking, could I live here someday? How would it be a place that works for us?
And I think Lagos is in the top league for a base, for a
I think you'll see us again.
Welcome to Words of Our Fathers, where we highlight and appreciate sterling words used by our forefathers centuries ago to make the world a better place. These words are unique and they are everlasting. We must appreciate them and we must use them constantly to make our society better. Today, we'll be talking about a proverb that says, even an ant can hurt an elephant. It's obvious. Even an ant can hurt an elephant. In other words, we should not underrate anybody. We should not look down on anybody. We should appreciate the talents and significance of every aspect of the society. The organizer is important. The messenger is important. The driver is important. The street sweeper is important, just as the politician. So it applies to everyone. It applies to all sectors of the society that we must be tolerant, we must be patient, we must acknowledge the strengths and the talents of others. We should not be self-conceited or self-opinionated because we think we have an advantage. So, an ant can hurt an elephant. You better be careful. The words of our fathers are words of wisdom. I am Bayo Olaoye. Welcome to Words of Our Fathers, where we talk about the richness and the wealth of precious words used by our forefathers centuries ago to make the society a better place. Those words are still relevant now, and we should not jettison them as being old and antiquated. Today we'll look at a proverb that says, if the calabash owner says that his calabash is worthless, others will join him to use the calabash to pack rubbish. It's talking about good character. We must try to have proper demeanor, proper behavior anywhere. People should be very wary of anger and the misuse of words. Our character will speak for us. People should not fake their personality. Your personality comes the way you show yourself to the public. In other words, all of us must learn how to behave properly. People jump queues, even in the banks. People do all sorts of things. They throw rubbish on the road because there's no enforcement. People make noise anywhere, regardless of whoever is bothered. So we better be careful. We need proper behavior. Not only for ourselves, but for the little ones around us. The words of our fathers are words of wisdom. I am Bayo Olaoye.
My name is Yinka Babalola.
My name is Ijoma Pelokoro.
My name is Joshua Hassan.
I am Rotarian or Mosunde Lawson.
It's Ife Yonwarita Ejeze. My friends call me Ife.
My name is Rotarian Lola Dare. I'm inviting you to keep watching SOUQ News. It's the right station to tune to.
I like SOUQ News. SOUQ News is good.
I want to charge you all to listen to SOUQ News, watch the news.
You can have unlimited news, first time.
Find SOUQ News. Be with SOUQ News. Never switch off. You are better for it. SOUQ News is the real thing.
Listen to their coverage and you'll be glad you did.
Turn to your YouTube, turn to your Instagram, turn to all your digital channels and look for SOUQ News.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Please, guys, keep watching
SOUQ News.
In the heart of Africa's growing hospitality landscape, where service and professionalism go hand in hand, the Hotel Managers Conference Africa 2025 unfolded in grand style. Held on the 28th and 29th of June at the Lagos Continental Hotel, the two-day gathering welcomed top hospitality professionals, experts, students, and stakeholders from across the continent. Hosted by Sunday Olubenga Omotayo, the conference was a celebration of growth, excellence, and the power of local talent.
Welcome to Lagos. Welcome to Africa. Welcome to the future of hospitality. In this room is the strong and brilliance of Africa's hospitality industry. Professionals who have turned challenges into success, created unforgettable guest experiences, and driven measurable growth. You are not here by chance. You are here because you recognize that the hospitality landscape is evolving faster than ever. What worked 5 years ago may be obsolete, but those in this room don't just keep up with change. You lead. Talk to someone, you lead. This is more than a conference. It's a movement. A movement to raise the standard of African hospitality and prove that we don't just follow global trends. We set there. Put your hands together and put it up. So, be present. Don't be distracted. I've seen distractions already. Hard questions. The first professor of hotel management and tourism is here, Professor SOUQ walked up to him and said, I asked him hard questions. Dr. Belinda is here, who's a big name when it comes to hospitality in the world, the global player. Asks hard questions. Build connections. Make at least 10 friends, not hold one, not new friends, no different ones behind this room, behind this room. Welcome to Hotel Mafias Conference Africa 2025.
Adding to the event's impact was the presence of Femi Wash Limited, whose media subsidiary, SOUQ News Television, served as the official media partner, offering live coverage, red carpet interviews, and podcast sessions that amplified the voices and stories shaping the industry. One of the event's high points was a series of insightful keynote sessions that tackled key challenges and emerging trends in hotel management. Professor Wasiu Babalola, SVP Africa at Content Worldwide Hotels, Turkey, and Academia with Atiba University, Oyo State, Nigeria, shared a thought-provoking address. Ahmed Raza, District Director, Nigeria, Radisson Hotel Group, shared insight on hospitality in Africa, driving excellence through local talent, highlighting the importance of investing in indigenous professionals for long-term growth. Dr. Belinda Nwosu, FIH of Lagos Business School, also gave a powerful talk on the future of hospitality, integrating global standards to drive excellence. Other speakers included Dr. Michael Pinda, General Manager of JS Signature Hotel, and Dr. Iyaduni Badebo, Director of Sales and Marketing at Eco Hotels and Suites, who contributed to discussions on hospitality development across the continent.
It's a pleasure to be here. Every one of you in this room, you are a gift. Thank you for the work that you do. A round of applause for yourself. I was reflecting this morning, thinking about how long I've been in the how far this industry has come over the years, over the decades. I'm going to talk about the future of hospitality. The future is already here, like Brenda has told us. But what are we going to do on our part to be part of that future? Global standards to deliver excellence. These global standards, we need to understand what they are and how they impact us as people and managers. So the first question I want to ask, and I want a response, if your hotel fails, who's to be fired first? I've had some very powerful insights that I want to share with you, because at the end of the day, yes, we want to be global, but we need to look within as well. What is it that needs to change? So some of these insights are here. There's 5 nuggets. One is leadership development. We're going to talk about that. Networks and sponsors. Global currency. Very, very important. Personal integrity. The fact that I put it forth doesn't mean it's not the most important. And finally, human flourishing. I will speak about that.
Event has been very good. It's growing every year. It's becoming dynamic, and the one place you have to come to every year to see what's going on, to network, and to help yourselves in your careers. We need to look at the future of our industry, and sustainability is important.
This event is, I would cap it as a storytelling of Nigerian hospitality. Started with various events in different parts of the country, and now it has now metamorphosed into Hotel Managers Conference Africa. So we're here to tell the story of the African hospitality sector. It's been an awesome experience. Sincerely, from yesterday we had the keynote speaker, Dr. Belinda from Lagos Business School, and she spoke quite a lot, and what actually still triggers in me is team strength and individual strength. And then today we now had Dr. Duni, who from Eco Hotel, Director of Sales and Marketing, and she spoke about storytelling.
My first time was last year, and this is my second time of attending HMC, and I can tell you for free, it's been very insightful. I want a situation whereby the hospitality industry will not be a dump of where anybody can just venture into. I want it to be a place where people that know their onions dive into the system.
Coming here today, I discovered that there is a whole lot to learn, and I've been learning. But what has really amazed me is the fact that Mr. Benga has been able to put this together and to ensure that there is no competition amongst hoteliers, but a synergy, and for people to work together to see that the hospitality business in Nigeria and in Africa is projected to the outside world.
Being here, I think it's a wonderful thing. Hopefully we can expand it to other African countries and just unitedly just bring Africa up.
We're not just here tonight. Okay. We are actually the head sponsor. Nice. So we didn't just come in first. It was a big one, so we just had to take the bull by the horn.
You want to do this again and again?
Yes, most definitely. HMC has come to stay already, and HMC is actually a big one. So, yeah, why not?
The event also marked a significant milestone for students of the Hotel Managers School, who received certificates after completing their training, symbolizing a new generation of skilled professionals ready to shape the industry.
The event has been a very impactful event. It has been a very knowledgeable event. It has been an event that we need to even have it for a week long, to carry on for 1 week, because it has been an event that a lot of things have been taught here, especially when I listened to the presentation of the keynote speaker, somebody like Dr. Belinda. Dr. Belinda talked so much about the hospitality, and she shared more light of some things that we have been neglecting without knowing that that's what has been. So this event has been so much impactful, and we listened to Dr. Panda speak, and it has been so much impactful, and all the speakers for this event, they have shared knowledge.
The 7th edition of Hotel Managers Conference has been remarkable. It's been educating, informative, and transformative. And it's just been a wow. And a big shout out to the organizer, the convener, Mr. Lukwenga Sunday Ombatayo, the veteran consultant. This is my second time in this event, and I am very, very happy to be here because here it's an avenue to express and get more experience, especially in the hospitality industry. We believe in growth, and I want to see the hospitality growing from this level to the next level.
So we are here to learn, to relearn, and to unlearn. We've been into hospitality for years, so we know things have been evolving, things have been changing, so we are here to learn, to relearn, and to unlearn.
Why we are both here is because hospitality is a very vast industry. So we see it as something that can improve us on what we are doing on our business, how to relate with people, then to network with the employers of labor, I mean the owners of the hotels, because we give them more work and we do businesses with them. And sincerely, at the conference, I've learned a lot. We've learned a lot because when we got home, we always do briefing on it. So after the briefing, I saw so many things, and even up till now, we're still learning on it.
Okay, so this is my first time at the conference, and it was honestly a great experience. I am enthusiastic about the numbers. I'm happy about the number of people that want to actually get trained in hospitality, as it's a problem that's actually plaguing the industry. We need to invest more in training, and we need to ensure that people that can't even afford this training have the funding they need to access it.
Rounding off the conference were photo sessions and award presentations, recognizing exceptional individuals and organizations for their contributions to hospitality. The night concluded with a vibrant gala evening where guests, graduates, and industry leaders gathered to celebrate, connect, and look ahead to a more collaborative and innovative future for hospitality in Africa. Grace Komolafe, SOUQ News TV.
Hello Lagos, make we yarn.
Hello, Boyfi, this POS matter don't pass your boy. Person go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
Then they use fake alert, the warriors.
Okay, so Mona listen, if you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Boyfi, they don't walk that bar road where they warriors for down our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what, development wey dey work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we no dey abuse, we dey bring solution. My name it is Ikechukwu Oyemike, aka Ogwefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go reach 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
The world of business is one filled with men and women willing to dine with risk. And when we seek African business shapers, we see individuals who have denied self to build conglomerates. From controlling over 90% of diesel trade in Nigeria, to almost throwing in the towel, then getting on the Forbes list, we present Olufemi Peter Otedola. The Nigerian businessman and philanthropist was born in Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, on the 4th of November, 1962, into the family of late Sir Michael Otedola, the governor of Lagos State from 1992 to 1993. The University of Lagos Staff School, Akuka, welcomed Olufemi for his primary education and secondary education at Olivet Baptist High School, Oyo. Olufemi proceeded to Obafemi Awolowo University, Ife, for his first degree, graduated and joined the family printing press business, working hard and gaining experience. Femi Otedola ventured out starting Center Force Limited. The company focused on finance, investment and trading. The oil and gas sector was Femi Otedola's next port of call. From quite a very humble beginning in the oil and gas sector, utilizing the connections and networks of family and friends, he cultivated partnerships in diesel supply chain, him being the last man to the final consumer. Challenges breed opportunities, and in Femi's case, it was a late delivery of diesel from his supplier with a broken truck, and he caught the idea. He could do better and provide better services. He ventured into diesel supply business, buying diesel from a retailer and supplying to companies. Femi Otedola encountered several difficulties securing his supply and timely meeting the demands of his growing clients. This definitely was an opportunity he identified in the fuel retail market. Otedola secured the finance, and Zenon Petroleum and Gas Limited was born, petroleum products marketing and distribution company. Otedola, owner and chairman of Zenon, in 2004 invested 15 billion naira in downstream infrastructure development and acquired storage depots at Ibadan, Apapa, as well as 4 cargo vessels, amounting to a combined total storage capacity of 147,000 metric tons. Zenon Petroleum and Gas Limited also acquired a fleet of 100 DAF fuel tanker trucks. By 2005, Zenon controlled a major share of the Nigerian diesel market, supplying fuel to most of the major manufacturers in the country, including Dangote Group, Cadbury, Coca-Cola, Nigerian Breweries, MTN, Unilever, Nestle, and Guinness. Zenon Petroleum and Gas was the name on major invoices, and Femi Otedola the name on every lips, playing toe-to-toe with major multinationals. Zenon, in a very short period, silenced the competition and almost unilaterally determined the price of diesel in Nigeria. The competitors came to Zenon for supply. Femi Otedola, with the massive success Zenon Petroleum and Gas achieved, bought a 28.7% stake in African Petroleum. Otedola branched into the financial sector and aggressively stocked up the shares of leading financial houses. He became a top shareholder in Zenith Bank, United Bank for Africa, and the largest importer of diesel in Nigeria. He acquired major shares of Africa's Finance Corporation, Mobile Oil Nigeria Limited, Chevron Texaco, and Visa Phone. Otedola has his hands deep in real estate investments, including an acquisition in February 2007 by Xenon of Sterling House in Victoria Island, Lagos from the federal government. Lagos, London, Dubai, Monaco all have the signatures of FO Property Limited. He was appointed chairman of the Transcorp Hilton Hotel Abuja and tasked with driving its expansion and upgraded to a 7-star facility. Otedola has served as a member of the Nigerian Investment Promotion Council since 2004, was appointed by President Goodluck Jonathan to Nigeria's National Economic and Management Team. Otedola is chief executive and president of the Seaforth Shipping Company Limited and was at one point Nigeria's largest ship owner after extending control over the distribution of diesel products. One of his ships, a flat-bottom bunker vessel with a storage capacity of 16,000 metric tons, was the first of its kind in Africa. In January 2006, Otedola was appointed a non-executive director of Transnational Corporation of Nigeria PLC, a multi-sectoral conglomerate established in 2004 by then President Olusegun Obasanjo to respond to market opportunities requiring heavy capital investment in Nigeria and across sub-Saharan Africa. He held this post until February 2011. Otedola was appointed chairman and chief executive of African Petroleum in 2007 through the acquisition of controlling stake in the business. Following Otedola's entry into the company, African Petroleum share price rose sharply, increasing the market capitalization from 36 billion to